How is it going, everyone? And happy Killdozer Day to everyone who is listening on YouTube to No Excuses with your favorite show hosts, Aristil.
Venerian.
And Volacel, and we're here to bring the latest news and commentary from the video games industry for the week. Or at least I will try, but I don't have a lot of...
It's been an interesting week on the games front, and not in a good way.
Yeah.
Ooh, Mimic. Hello, Mimic. So, we're just going to jump in. Do the shtick.
If you'd like to get involved with the show, you can do so by sending us email at noexcusesvtw@gmail.com, or you can follow us on the Twitter at noexcusesvtw, or you can join us in our Discord server, which you can get to by clicking on the link that will be provided in the description underneath the show archive on YouTube. And with that, I've blown all my energy for the next hour.
Yeah, and we'll get to that in a moment. So, on the stream today, we're doing Palace of the Dead, which...
Aria's doing Palace of the Dead, and we are following him.
Yes. Like, I'm supposed to be holding things down while he goes and beats them up, but he doesn't need me to do that, so... Yeah.
Yeah, I've got this place all the way up to floor 120 on lock.
Oh, yeah. So at this point, we just hold into our butts and keep up.
I would have to be thoroughly distracted in order to screw it up.
Well, we have established before that you don't really have the multitasking skills to keep this up for too long.
That is true. If there's a time I will die in Palace, it'll be live on stream while I'm trying to do two things at once.
Yes.
Because walking and chewing bubblegum at the same time is not one of my strong points.
Alright, so...
Found the exit. Let's
Found it?
see if it opens. It's not going to open, though, I don't think, from these two.
No, I think we've got at least 2 more kills.
Well, maybe. It jumped to orange.
Get over here, you horrible little thing. No, one more.
Find her. Go find a repop. Or go drag one out of the next
Actually,
room.
you're faster. You can just go do that. We'll go stand in the corner. So...
Yeah, you just hang out there.
Yeah. So we'll just jump straight on in with the weeks, and it's been an well, not an interesting week, it's just been a meh week for me. Haven't done a whole lot in the way of gaming, aside from dipping my toes into Eureka, because apparently I hate myself.
Yeah. Otherwise known as the worst Bosnia.
Yeah, worst Bosnia.
I've done my best to put up neon warning signs for just what that's hell you're walking into.
Oh yeah. I know it is, but there's a really cool armor set at the end of it.
I know there is, and it's really pretty, and I use that to justify me putting up with it when Abo wants to go.
Yeah.
But it is literal hell.
Yes, it is. So I resumed my grind, because I was originally ahead of Ari, and then they've just overtaken me because I got bored, because, Eureka.
It took serious arm twisting to get me to go to Eureka week after week. So when are we going to go back to Eureka? We should go back to Eureka. Okay, we'll go back eventually, Abo. Just I got to be in the mood for it.
Patience, child. Patience.
I broke our show's namesake and just gave excuse after excuse for why the heck I couldn't go to Eureka.
Yeah,
I need to wash my hair.
I need to water the dog.
I did need to water the dog a few times.
I had to water my dog this week, and she's stanky. Oop.
That's okay, it worked out. He stepped on it too.
Haha. I've gotten to the end of the quest line for Eureka Animos, and I've gotten my relic weapon to be all shiny and glowy and stuff. I still need to grind a bit more because I'm only level 18 at this point, and those last 2 levels are a slog.
Somebody's frog. Oh, I wasn't in the circle.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I know I'm pulling things I shouldn't. Shut up.
That's okay. We're not here to take this run seriously. I'll probably delete this file as soon as we're done to make room for a solo file.
Oh yeah, no doubt. So yeah, unfortunately I haven't been able to have a look at Eureka Pagos yet. But that's the next step, which Ari will probably talk about very shortly.
Isn't that the one that he said was even worse than regular?
It's Animos, but less good.
Yeah, I finished Pagos 2 weeks ago, and I mentioned it briefly. But just to give you a preview, I can tell you what's about to happen. See, you know how in Animos everything's fairly vanilla and boring?
Yes.
And just on a flat plane, and you just got to run around and wait on the fate train.
Pretty much.
Well, what would happen if we took that and then put it in an environment where there are drop-down ledges that do 100% of your health and damage, so if you're in combat, you die. And then stuck the NMs right next to them.
That sounds like somebody at Square Enix hates your guts.
And then it gets better. What if we took those and we decided to put dragons in front of them that are 5 levels higher than the cap for the zone? Fern, what are you fighting?
I'm fighting stuff over here to get treasure.
But and then let's make those dragons have sound aggro. So you can get by them, but you have to tiptoe very slowly.
Yeah, and RP walking is, I believe, by default, not actually bound.
So I have it bound now. I didn't. I could manually do it with my controller, but it's a little finicky to get the stick in the right position and hold the RP.
I'm fairly sure it's bound by default for me. It's slash on the numpad.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, that's
so
default.
it is. There you go. Who
Yeah,
uses the
it was,
numpad, though?
I do. I
Well,
actually rebound it to a different space on the number pad. It's period on the number pad because
I
it's
use-
quicker to reach from with my hand.
I use the
That's
numpad
the
for
control.
numbers.
I don't bind anything to the actual numbers on the number pad, but
Oh, I use all the numbers on the number pad because the number pad is matched to my mouse.
Ah.
there you go.
So, yeah. I replaced my mouse, actually, too, this week, which... Whoop, Mimic.
Yeah, as you may recall, at the beginning of the show last week, Fern's mouse decided that it wasn't interested in being cooperative on any sort of regular basis.
Yeah, I looked at it a bit more during the week. It looks like the battery has just kind of exploded. Just a little bit, so...
Is it a rechargeable or like replaceable AA's?
Rechargeable.
Okay.
Yeah, they do eventually burn out, and if you put them in a hot environment for too long, they literally explode.
There are no non-hot environments in Australia, though.
Yeah.
Aren't you by default like 3 degrees above recommended room temperature?
On average. So, yeah, that was fun. So I replaced it. I ended up going with the Razer, one of the Razer Nagas. I couldn't get the X, though, so I had to put up with one of the ones with the interchangeable plates.
Ugh.
Which, it's behaved itself so far. This is the 4th generation interchangeable plates now, so it's...
Just
they
make sure
always
you
do
have
that,
the
though.
receipt. Make sure you have the receipt.
Certainly do.
They always behave themselves at first. They
Yes.
don't cock up until 6 months. They're great for the 6 months that they work,
Yeah. And then they break.
and then they don't work no more.
And they don't work no more. I still haven't had the chance to properly configure it all to how I want it yet, but it's nice just being able to use the thumb buttons again to be able to, actually input commands.
Mm-hmm.
Because I tend to use my second row of abilities on the mouse, or at least I used to. So that was fun. But anywho, the only other real bit of Final Fantasy stuff I did this week was Palace of the Dead last night.
Yep, I took Fern on the Mega Romp from floor 1 to 100.
Yeah, we blew through it in about 3.5 hours.
A little less than that, about 3:15.
Yeah, give or take. So that was a fun run, but we didn't get a single pot shard out of a chest. Because the game
Yeah.
hates us, apparently.
That's okay, I'm a potsherd vacuum, especially now that I don't need them.
Yeah, so that figures that's
my-
where they're going to go.
My vacuum ability for potsherds seems to go up exponentially the less I need them.
Yeah,
Let's get off this gloom floor.
just keep on trucking along.
So I walked you through the basics of how to efficiently do Palace, and got like 3.5 levels on my Mechanist and your Dark Knight.
Yeah.
I cleaned up my Mechanist's road to 60, and it'll hit 61 with this batch, so it can do Heaven on High after this, which will be fun.
Very
Fern
nice.
Steel.
Oh, steel.
Yep. So
Yeah.
I've just been letting Fern take all the steals since, in theory, I won't be taking any damage.
In theory.
And even if something would try and make me take damage, I can just slow it and run away from it. Because
He wasn't dead. He's dead now.
he's dead now. I underestimate leg graze my entire Final Fantasy career, and then we get to freaking Palace of the Dead.
You wouldn't have underestimated if you'd played during Realm Reborn.
Oh yeah, Kaisen was
like-
king during those
Yeah,
days.
you were not going to survive if you didn't use it.
Yeah,
Bad things would happen to you.
you were just too smushy.
I'm just gonna get rid of this guy.
There's an intuition
So, yeah.
if you want to pop that.
Sure, why not?
So that was a fun run. I already had a fairly solid idea of what Palace was, but there's a bunch of tricks that Ari showed that are really going to help when I do my next solo run.
Yep. Things about how the patrols work, how to hug the walls. It's
Yeah,
not guaranteed. It's never guaranteed. You
never
can,
guaranteed.
but it is significantly less likely. And you have to hump them walls. These circular rooms are particularly bad because the traps like to spawn at the corners.
Well,
and
you've
they
got
can-
that big part of floor real estate there which they can't spawn on, so it increases the
Yeah.
odds.
Yeah, and in the corners specifically, they seem to jam up into the wall, even if you're humping it.
Yeah. Oh, we have the horde.
So
But yeah.
yeah.
So
What
it's-
else did I show you while we were going through? How to do the bosses, obviously.
Yeah, bosses, and honestly, though, because we had tank and DPS, it was a lot easier to do them than they otherwise might have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
That's-
hold them down and Ari can beat them up.
Yeah, already makes them go boom. This is Mechanist Palace. Is you make things explode with drill.
Yeah,
There is pre-drill Mechanist, which is a little bumpy, a little rough, not very fun, and then there's post-drill Mechanist in Palace of the Dead,
which is just
Which
a
is-
hoot.
which is hilarious. You will see mobs just get deleted randomly while we're going through. That is me having the guaranteed crit up for drill and
That is
using
you.
drill.
Piercing the heavens.
Yeah, you've
Yes.
got to pierce the heavens.
It is what makes Mechanist so dang good.
Yeah. But yeah, watching you play it as you ran around, it's a completely different playstyle required than the rest of the game.
Oh yeah.
Because
It's-
the rest of the
it's-
game, you don't put leg graze on your bar at all.
Yeah,
Because it doesn't
leg
work
raise-
anymore.
It doesn't work on anything.
Yeah, leg raise is on not just an easy to access bar, but the primary bar.
Yeah. Might do my next solo run under the Dark Knight though, because survivability is a good thing.
Yeah, you won't be able to take it as far because time becomes an issue.
Yeah,
But
Dark
you will
Knight
be
just
more
doesn't
able.
do the damage.
You'll be able to more safely do what you want to do.
Yeah,
But yeah, starting at floor 100, time is an issue. And oh, ain't that nice?
oh, that's convenient. That's one of the worst floor debuffs you can get. Is just the automatic healing gone. It's not the worst, but it's one of.
It depends on the class you are. If you're playing a tank that can self heal like Gunbreaker or Dark Knight, it's not that bad. If you're playing a red mage, it's not that bad.
But if you're playing a machinist, you'd lose half your DPS.
Oh, that's no abilities.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, your weave abilities are there. Your robots on there, as is reassemble. So no guaranteed crits.
is it worth getting that one? Yeah, there's only one dude.
Yeah, smack him around a bit.
Ah, dang it! Another dude respawned right when I pulled him.
Yeah. So that's been my lot for gaming this week. I did try briefly the Mario Strikers demo, but I could only play the tutorial. So unfortunately, that game only seems to have about 10 playable characters in it. So it's Mario themed. Oh, right, never mind. I'm going to go play as a frog now. Mario themed Blood Bowl, except nowhere near as brutal because Mario themed. So it's competent, it's fun. It takes a lot of learning though, because there's a whole lot of timing on when you press a button to kick or pass that can make or break a move. Also, Peach just outright cheats. Every character gets a special ability, which is their big shot. If you manage to score a goal with that, you get 2 points. Peach just seduces the goalkeeper.
I always knew she was a thought.
Yeah, so he'll catch the ball and then he just turns around and puts it in the goal, which I found endlessly amusing. So yeah, I mean, from what I played, it's okay. It's not like AAA price that they're asking for. Okay, unless there's a full single-player career mode to go with it, which I could honestly tell if there was or wasn't. So, that's it for games for me this week. Oh, right, I forgot this guy spreads poop, doesn't he? Hang on.
Yeah, but it's random who he puts it on. It's not a big deal on normal.
Yeah. Now we'll just do this, boss. The only other things I suppose I've got to quickly talk about then is animes. And this week, just kept on going with what I've been going on. I haven't picked up anything new. Going by your boy Kong Ming has kind of started hitting its downhill into the final parts of the show. Hasn't really done anything surprising at all. But it's just a good, fun, light watch. Zhuge Liang himself has actually kind of taken a back seat for the last couple of episodes, so he's been off screen for most of it. Well, it focuses on Aiko, the singer, doing her thing in order to proceed her career. Definitely watch it. It is just a light, fun watch. It gets a little bit emotional here and there, but it's nothing huge. No Sima Yi yet.
Please tell me you just said huge.
No, I didn't say huge.
Huge.
Huge. Although there is a very brutal, corrupt, well, I wouldn't say necessarily corrupt, but very brutal, heartless corporate music executive who might be Sima Yi. He's not nearly flamboyant enough, though. The other anime I've been keeping up with, which has been I'm Quitting Heroing, and that one took a right turn. I'm not going to spoil it, but it presented itself right up until episode 8 as being kind of a very generic fantasy world, slice of life kind of thing where a hero is joining the enemy's army in order to make things better for the enemy or for the demons. Episode 8 kind of gives you the background of the hero and exactly where he came from, what his origins were, and all of that. Episode 9 explains why he joined the army in the first place and what he was originally intending on doing there. Yeah, it's definitely a nice, big change in tone. I'm assuming at this point Vol hasn't watched it.
No.
So
No,
I'm not going to spoil it.
I might have. I don't remember. I don't remember where I got up to. But I haven't watched any this week, so...
The end of episode 9, everyone's at the top of the snowy mountain.
I don't remember.
Okay. That's as vague as I'm going to be. So yeah, definitely watch that one. Yeah. I'm interested to see where they actually go with it at this point. Exits over this way.
It's on this floor.
Yeah, you guys do that. I'm just going to clear the exit room.
Oh, the Horde's in the exit room.
Oh, is it? Oh, it is too. Okay. Get back here. And that's honestly about it for my week. It's just been a kind of a drag. Whoops. Gimmick. But we've got our new dude settled in now, and he's actually, able to do the job.
Though we haven't heard this a million times.
Yeah.
Does he speak proper Aussie?
Yes.
Like he's not speaking Kenyan or whatever the last one was.
He's speaking
and doesn't
Australian.
work. So all the shrimps on the Barbie.
No one actually says shrimp on the Barbie. Like, ever.
I'm just gonna eat this raptor.
So, yeah, just smack him. There we go. Can I get around there and get that chest? Yeah. Pop that. Okay, onwards. So
Ever
that's my
onwards.
week. Whole lot of nothing, really. Vol, how dead are you?
Pretty dead. I didn't really do much this week, and the reason I didn't do very much this week is that work was frantic. And the reason the work was frantic was because every man and their dog has been calling in with COVID. And so I basically was having to work late every night. But that sort of thing weakens your immune system.
Mm-hmm.
So it's now my turn.
Yep.
So
Not
basically, I woke up Saturday morning with a very, very slightly scratchy throat, and I went to work as normal because, I mean, it was so not big deal. I had after that, like this Saturday evening was the Vigil of Pentecost, which in the traditional form is about a 2.5 hour long liturgy. But by the end of it, I was barely upright, and so I drove very slowly home, and then basically I ate something and then collapsed into bed at about 9 o'clock, and didn't get out of bed until about 10 o'clock this morning.
Mm-hmm. Pop steel.
At which point, I dug around in the bathroom cabinet for one of those antigen test things that they had assigned us at work to test ourselves if we felt ill, and it immediately showed up as positive, like instantaneously. It didn't even take the 15 minutes it's supposed to take to develop.
You are very coofed.
I was very coofed. So yeah, it's not actually a big deal in a lot of ways. Like, I couldn't work like this. That's certainly true because I'm way too tired. I'm just feeling incredibly fatigued. Can't really do much of anything more than about 5 minutes activity in a spurt, and I'm completely tuckered out. The actual cold symptoms are extraordinarily mild. Like, I have a slightly scratchy, phlegmy throat, and I have a slightly plugged nose. Like, not even a fully plugged nose. Just, it's a little bit runny. Like, it's cold day tier, not really illness tier. But the other symptoms are the ones that are really prevent me from doing anything productive, which is the fatigue and the migraines. But yeah, so it's more of an inconvenience than a crippling illness, I would say, because I just don't have the energy to do anything much. It's not really a case of, I'm so sick, I can't do anything because I'm so sick. It's like, well, the spirit is willing, but the flesh is very, very weak.
Yeah.
It was the way you describe it. It sounds a lot like what I was calling a mild flu back in early 2021, late 2020.
That's how I would describe it as well. Like, I've had much, much worse flus when I was younger.
Now, I didn't go out and get tested because reasons. I have stances, and I'm not going to waver on them. But if I was to get a disease that is the coof that actually exists, it was probably that, and it just felt like a mild flu.
Yeah, and from what I can tell, that's mostly the case for most people. Like, I've got friends who have had it, and they say that, I felt tired for about 3 days, too tired to do anything other than sit at my desk. But after that, it was fine.
Yeah, there's two variants I run into, which is the tired for 3 days version, or the feel like death for one.
Yeah, I've seen online people describe that one as well, where they had the worst flu of their experience, but it lasts a day and then they get out of bed and they're fine.
And they're perfectly fine after that, yeah.
That kind of variance seems to be existing in normal flus as well, though. Like, that doesn't seem...
Well, this is because it is a normal flu. I mean, what are you going to do?
I mean, That's what I'm saying without saying because YouTube.
What is the only thing abnormal about this flu is the fact that it was engineered rather than it was natural. Other than that, it's pretty conventional. It feels pretty conventional as well. A lot less bad than some others that I've had. I remember when I was young, I had one that was so bad that I tried to go to the bathroom or something, and I just fell over on the ground and lay there for 2 hours because I didn't have the energy to stand up. Yeah, this is nowhere near that bad. It's just inconvenient because I don't have the strength to do things that I would otherwise do. Like, I had to do the laundry this morning, and I was pretty tuckered out after that. And I just feel like going to sleep all the time. But, unfortunately, it's impeding my ability to be productive in any particular way, but using the antigen test gives me a get out of work free card. So the problem is that the longer I'm away from work, the worse the chaos will be when I return.
Feel.
So I'm not really very sanguine about taking any particular length of time off work. I know things are already going to fall apart because of me not being there on Tuesday, because it probably, if the 3 days is right, I'll still be ill on Tuesday. And Tuesday is the day where I do a lot of like culture maintenance and stuff, things that are required to just keep things working. And if there's nobody to do that, then things won't keep working.
Well, no culture, no tests.
So, well, they can use the old ones. It's just that they'll become increasingly hit or miss on whether or not they're alive.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Thankfully, it's not actually audit time yet. The audit has been postponed to July, the first week of July, I think, and so we don't have to deal with the audit problem, which would be absolute chaos. But the reason why me being ill this week is bad is because this Monday is Queen's birthday, meaning that on Monday very little work will come in because a lot of clients won't be operating. However, everything that didn't get done on Monday will get done on Tuesday instead, and then it will come in.
Yeah.
And all hell will break loose. But yeah, it's down to work to decide whether or not they want me to isolate for the full 7 days that the government recommends, or whether they'll be happy to just let me back to work when I can, stand upright for more than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Do you have? I assume you do because you're a laboratory. Do you have the full retard hazmat suits?
No.
No,
we
Not
don't
that
have
kind of
any such thing.
laboratory.
If I was you and I was forced to go back into work, what I would do is I would acquire the full hazmat suit. Oh, I'm a frog.
Uh-huh.
I was in the doorway. But I would just acquire the full hazmat suit, put like a Darth Vader mask on underneath the hazmat suit,
And breathe heavily at people.
and just at people as I'm walking around.
I mean,
Yeah,
if you really want to take the piss, go for it.
yeah, work hasn't gotten back to me about what they want from me yet, so yeah, we'll just let them figure it out. I'm not that interested. I'll be happy to have a bit of time off, especially if I can recoup a bit of strength toward the latter end of it, so that I can relax properly. That would be nice. It's hard to relax when you don't have the energy to relax. But
Vern, please get this Triceratops off me. It can't be slowed.
No, it cannot.
yes.
Yangy boy.
So basically, when I would normally do the things that I would talk about, would be Saturday night oftentimes, which was basically a wash for me because I just crashed into bed and didn't leave it for some time. So yeah, I don't really have much to say. I'm sort of frustrated because I was so glad that the current FGO event is a 3-week one, so I figured I could take my time, but I haven't been able to actually spend any time progressing the event. I'm way behind on it, so hopefully I can recoup a bit of strength and push that to its completion. Ari, you didn't do Vegas, did you?
No, I did not.
Yeah, even though it's Void Shiki's costume event.
Yeah, I have totally stopped playing that game outside of main story because it's just the gameplay's really starting to grind on me. We'll
You
start.
haven't even played main story yet, have you?
No, I've still got all of the Lost Belt 5 to do. But,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know how many. They've revealed the logo for Lost Belt 7, so maybe they'll actually get to Lost Belt 7 one of these days. But they've announced Traum, which is the next 6.x Lost Belt.
and specifically the reason I haven't played Atlantis and Olympus yet is because it's going to be just so gosh dang long between now and the next Lost Belt. Like, I got like a full year to kill here.
Yeah, well, I mean, you say that, but all the point Lost Belts are main story as well. They're not events, so that's more like Epic of Remnant. But I don't think you can skip it, even though you can skip Epic of Remnant. But yeah, the Olympus also has a really long script. I think it's the longest script so far.
Huh.
Most of it is exposition dumping. You can almost visualize Kiro walking around in a circle or whatever.
Well, they got to
Fate Expedition. Fate does expedition dumps like no one else.
Yeah, and
They
this
gotta-
is one of the most complex pieces of like Type Moon prehistory. So there's a lot of exposition dumping to do, but yeah. The thing is that by comparison, Traum, the new sort of intermission Lost Belt, has apparently got a script of a similar length to Olympus. So I guess they went all in on this one. I'm very interested in the event though because it's very European history centric, which they haven't really done in a while. Because it's always like, you know, mythological or Japanese or whatever, but to do a really focused take on European history that isn't about King Arthur is not something they do very frequently. So they've announced a bunch of the servants from Traum, not all of them yet, because they usually save half of them for later. But they have announced Charlie at last. Charlie's going to join the cast, which is the
I saw our Naked Man was in there.
yes. So Roland has also been announced. And it's sort of a bit annoying because Roland is a heroic character. It's just that they've boiled him down to just Furioso Roland, where he goes insane.
Okay.
Where he strips naked and runs around in public.
Yeah,
And Roland the nudist.
yeah, because he's insane at the time. But they've just decided that for the purposes of Type Moon, Roland is just kind of an exhibitionist.
Right.
I mean, I guess if you're naturally inclined one way, Madness would only exaggerate it.
Could
I
be,
guess.
I don't know. There's a lot about sort of like romantic pseudo mythology from Western Europe that is a bit difficult to comprehend in the modern day without being very, very thoroughly grounded in it. So maybe it's a bit more normal in context as a depiction of madness.
Maybe.
But yeah, well, I mean that's certainly a thing. So Roland has been included as I think he's a 4-star saber, and he has a very bloated kit.
What did you do?
Somebody had to learn a trap. I'm crossbowing it.
Yeah, he's got a very bloated skill kit. Quite a powerful one. If what you need is a Buster Saber to just delete target, he's quite powerful. But he's not going to be someone who's like, oh well, the meta says that this is the most powerful servant ever. Charlie is a bit stronger. He's an AoE quick saber. Number one, there aren't that many of those. There are only a couple in the game. I don't know what this boss does.
Okay. Quick rundown is I'll keep him out of the puddles. Do not stand in the puddles.
Okay.
Don't
No,
stand in
stand in
puddles.
poop.
Don't get hit by yuck.
Poop
Yeah.
bad MK.
Poop bad MK.
He's really simple. He's the simplest boss in this floor batch.
Yeah.
I'm only lessening him because we're capped on lists.
And you might as well at this point.
Yeah, Charlie's an AoE quick saber with a really, really loaded kit as well. He's got a lot of skills. Like the power creep is starting to become very obvious. Like pressing a skill button now doesn't do one thing; it does about 8. Like
That's kind of silly.
I'm exaggerating a little bit, but at least there's like some mutually exclusive effects for Charlie. like skills that do different things depending on whether he targets himself with them or whether he targets a party member with them and that sort of thing, which is effectively like having 2 skills. But yeah, rumor has it that his Noble Phantasm has so many hits and he has so many in-kit NP charge buffs that he can loop by himself without Skadi assistance. So yeah, pretty powerful. Quick is a very bad archetype in the long view of things, and Skadi is a very bad support in the long view of things. It's just that when you combine them together with when you combine Skadi and powerful quick servants, then they become powerful, but they also have a very narrow use. And I have a cutscene.
You can see a bearded man monologue at you.
Well, I can't really see him. I don't even know that he's got a beard because his head is out of shot.
He has a mustache, sort of.
Moustache.
Does he have a beard and a mustache, or just
No
a
beard,
mustache?
just a mustache.
Just a mustache?
Just a mustache, which may or may not be made a part of his own face.
So the other servant they have announced is Crimehild, Siegfried's wife / widow.
That's a berserker?
Yes, she's a berserker. Predictably.
Oh, we get to kill Harambe eventually.
Again.
On stream, I get to murder Harambe.
Please don't. Oh, wait,
I always knew you were a Clinton shill. But yeah, so Crimehild is an arts berserker, single target arts berserker, of which there are not very many. There are 2 others, being Vlad and Galatea. I think Vlad is marginally more powerful at the moment than Galatea. It remains to be seen how effective Crimehild is, considering Crimehild is a 4-star and the other 2 are 5 stars. But yeah, she's got quite a strong kit. Apparently her internals are not very good relative to the other 2, but because her kit is so good, that might make up for it. But yeah, she's got a lot of waifu points if you're into widows, I guess. She's a very, very, very pretty character design, but
didn't she go
so crazy
because Siegfried died?
Yeah, she's not an Avenger because her behavior is not consistent with revenge, just madness, basically. But I don't know a great deal about her story because I've never actually read The Ring of Nibelung. But I don't know. Do you read it? Do you listen to it? Do you watch it? I don't know.
I watched a YouTube summary of it once, a long time ago.
Someone has no doubt done a terrible movie adaptation of it.
But yeah, she's been mentioned a few times in the past in FGO, usually by Sumanai. So I'm pretty sure that mainly when she was mentioned in passing was Siegfried thanking Altera for taking care of her because as she's widowed, she eventually marries Attila. Do I have to do anything about Anzu?
Make them die very fast.
Yes, kill them quick.
What do they do if you let them live?
They will put a dot on everybody that does, not in normal mode, not so bad, but in the higher floors, the dot itself will kill you. They will stun you and everybody near you for 5 seconds, do colossal physical damage, and inflict everybody hit by that stun with vulnerability up.
Sounds pretty bad.
They are the most dangerous mobs, period.
Why you do this?
Well, the bear's almost dead. I'm just gonna kill the bear. He got hit by the landmine too.
Yeah, so yeah, there's to go on top of the other previous announcement of Constantine the 11th, the final king of Constantinople, about whom there are an awful lot of legends, but for some reason in Western Europe nobody remembers him. But he's sort of an Arthurian figure, except more real, I guess. But the legends about him are of the type that, he's going to come back to liberate Constantinople and so on.
There's a lot of parallels between the two. You got Charlemagne has his Knights of the, help me out, I'm brain farting.
Paladins.
Paladins, yeah, his 12 paladins. and then you have the Knights of the Round Table.
But well, I mean, they're not associated in any way. And Constantine the 11th didn't have any paladins, but he was the most popular legend about him that people even in the West remember is because it's odd to think about it, but Constantinople is Eastern. It is in the Middle East. It's in Turkey after all. But
Do the thing, Ari.
he's the main legend about him is that when the battle was lost, when Constantinople fell, but before Constantine Palaiologos died, an angel descended from heaven and turned him into a marble statue and then carried him to a secret cavern underneath Constantinople. And he will return to lead an army to glorious victory and reclaim the city at the end of time, type of thing. That type of legend. And it exists in the Eastern Christianity sort of popular consciousness quite a bit. Like, people still write songs, like popular music, lamenting the fall of Constantinople in the East. Like, we never really got over it, sort of thing.
Istanbul, Constantinople, no Istanbul, Constantinople, no Istanbul.
Not that
Well,
one.
it's a globalist shill song.
That's the only reason I know Istanbul is a name for Constantinople.
But yeah, his kit's weird though, like really weird. Don't know how people will use it, but people often come up with interesting uses for kits like that. But yeah, so major chapters coming out, and it's not a progression of the story; it's just another side story. So they keep doing this. I think that I don't know how much of this was planned in advance, or whether it's like, well, they announced that they're going to end the story after the final Lost Belt, and now they've got cold feet.
Wouldn't surprise me. More the point, there's still money to be made.
Yeah,
They've also had dev house shakeups with them moving people up. I'm doing the thing.
Yeah,
Fern,
go
you're-
bopping.
Yeah, Fern, you're on chess duty.
Why would you do this?
Doesn't matter.
Go bop.
How did you do this?
That's what the Pomander of Rage does.
No, I mean, like, why? Somehow, at the moment he popped it, he also silenced and pacified me.
My hitbox got bigger.
Oh,
And of course I have
yeah.
bigger feet.
Oh, I see.
So he tripped the trap. Incidentally, that last floor, I hit 2 frog traps at the edge of the map.
Hurry, Fern, so I can continue the boppage.
Yeah, we gotta get through the loading screen yet.
No, yeah. So that's FGO. I there's a lot that I like about the Vegas story, especially compared to some of the other summer stories. But generally, the summer stories are all right. It's the Gouda can be a bit trying.
Yeah.
Like there's a limit to how much absurdity I can swallow. But
Harambe!
You just bitch slapped Harambe.
how could
I
you
did.
do this? But yeah. New event started in Pinecone. Haven't really done anything in there yet because reasons. Because I'm too tired. But it
You don't
seems
miss
to be
much.
focused around 3 of the thickest members of the cast.
They are really, really dumb.
Yeah, and in Britain, what do they say? The thick as mints. But yeah, it's just a swimsuit event, really. I guess. But I'm not at the level where I can kill the very hard bosses, so I'm still languishing in deep frustration. Because it's not a matter of not being able to one attempt it. It's a matter of, oh well, actually, all of my characters get jibbed by the first attack type of thing, which is annoying because I'm now past the level where I'm at a crit disadvantage. But apparently that's just not quite good enough.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the gimmicks are for this boss because whatever they aren't enough to affect my team normally. The special boss, however, they've got really, I'll call it creative to be generous.
Treasure room.
Yeah, I heard that there's like a thing that turns healing into damage or something.
Yeah, so
Actually,
they're
Let's just
at
do it
least
this
in the
way.
phase, yeah, the last phase I've cleared has there was a little Fern. What the?
get
Fern?
AoE in. Oh yeah, we're doing this hardcore.
Hardcore's certainly a word for it.
We're doing it the bad way. Well, that was fun. Let's not do that again. Okay.
Okay, my brain just got totally discombobbled with that.
You're talking about the special boss.
All right, the special boss. He has all kinds of gimmicks. Like his first phase, you don't do damage to him. You have to land 200 attacks to break the shield. And then
so I guess you want to take a lot of action speed up or something?
Yeah, or characters that have multi-hit abilities or noble phantasms. And then oh, that was strength. Yes, please. I need to
Is that what we're calling them now?
And did I just say noble phantasm union burst?
Same thing.
But yeah. So something like that'll work. The next fight has the boss every attempt, so you can't just kill the crystal and move on, as I found out the hard way. The boss will summon a crystal in the back row behind it that can't be cleaved and has to be targeted manually by a character. And this thing negates all healing while it's alive and puts a permanent dot on the party.
Really? What I heard differently about what that thing did. I mean, obviously I can't attempt it, but I heard that it negates healing and returns 10% of healing that you would receive as damage.
It might. I didn't really experiment with that part. I'm still on that part, so when I get my tickets tomorrow, I can test a little bit.
But yeah, I can't even get that far because they've changed the unlock conditions for special. From resets of the prize box to simply clearing the very hard, which I can't do because I'm a baddie. But
once you get to that point, though, it is way better. Trust, so to not have to sit and wait on the special to pop.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I'm still waiting for them to vary up their events a little bit because the loop is a bit dull. And it almost feels like an obstruction to me in a lot of ways. When an event pops up, it just means that I can't be farming memory shards or whatever. Because I can't pass up the EXP. I mean, realistically, I probably could pass up the EXP at this point because I simply can't afford to raise my characters. Like, I'm going to have to start buying out the gold EXP every day, which I've sort of been avoiding doing because I'm afraid of bottoming out on mana. Because I don't have access to higher dungeons.
Something I've been meaning to remind you about. If you have any support set in the guild, when it doesn't matter if the guild uses them or not, they accrue mana over time, and you can just take them out and put them back in, and just get a nice chunk of mana that way.
I didn't know you could take them out and put them back in for mana.
Yeah, you can. They accrue mana over time the longer they're set as a support, regardless of whether they're used or not. If they're used, you get more. But
yeah, I think I set some. I'll have a look. But,
yeah, they should be at their mana cap and have a nice chunk of mana for you by now.
Right. I don't think that was documented anywhere.
Probably not.
Well, I mean, actually, their documentation is extremely thorough and extensive compared to most gacha games. The problem is that it's all just a big wall of text that is in a very slow-running client browser. So it's just frustrating to look things up because it takes so long. But yeah, it is still quite well documented. If you know precisely what it is that you want to find out, you can find it out. But don't think I've got much else to comment on that topic. I hope that I can recover enough to actually. I don't want to say enjoy my time off because that would make it feel like I was treating my illness dishonestly. But, I mean, I don't want to stay at home. I want things at work to be ticking over normally so I don't suffer when I get back. But, unfortunately, everybody is afraid of this cold. So, I mean, I'm the only person at work who's not vaccinated.
Honestly, though, you'd probably be the only person at the moment not looking forward to getting it.
Well, I was looking forward to getting it, but now that I have it, I can only think of the drawbacks.
Yeah.
I guess I'm that sort of person. It doesn't really speak well of my character, but
Well, maybe it
that's
speaks
just-
a little bit better of you than other people.
But like I'm the only person who's not vaccinated at work, but I'm one of the last to get COVID. And some of the vaccinated ones, like who are fully double vaxxed and boosted, rah, they've had it multiple times, or at least have claims to have had it multiple times. I don't know. I don't want to.
The key word there is claimed.
I don't want to needlessly ascribe dishonesty to people when I have no evidence. However,
The evidence
They-
is they're human.
they believe that they are protected by this vaccine, and also they believe that they have had it multiple times. So, you know, you make the inference that suits you, I guess.
Obviously. Yeah.
But yeah, it's not all it cracked up to be. It's not like I think when I was when I did the antigen test, I was talking to a friend on Discord, and I'm like, oh, so I've got the red line of doom now. I guess I'm gonna die. That's how this works, right?
Yeah, something like that.
You would think that that's how it worked.
If you
I'm
listen
sorry,
to-
Fern. You're gonna have to deal with this because I can only stand here charging mana.
Oh, that's okay. I'm the
Tucker.
same. I can't even regain mana because that's an ability. Or rather, Blood Weapon requires you to use abilities to do it.
I'm just Dragon Ball Z charging here, and every 5 charges I can use an attack.
It's okay. I come in guns blazing.
You with your active abilities.
Active abilities. Real men just sort of crouch and make constipated noises.
Auto attack all the way. So yeah. The thing with people getting COVID lately has been everyone's willing to put up with either 1 or 3 days of misery, and then they get a week off.
Yeah, but I don't want the
Make
consequences. I'm one of those people who, anytime they take time off work, they feel bad about the people that they're leaving behind to pick up the mess, which is not necessarily a very rational way of thinking.
Yeah.
But
There's always that element of dread when you go away for any period of time, and you just know that when you come back, there's going to be this pile of crap to deal with.
it's not even just that, though. It's also that I know that it's going to put strain on people trying to cover for me.
I
Yeah.
can't say that I have that problem. I have, in fact, the opposite problem, where me not showing up to work means my butt is going to get roasted and have more work to do.
Well, you're not part of a team. You're just a babysitter.
A possum sitter.
Yeah, every time I see a picture of an opossum, it's doing something patently retarded.
They are not very smart creatures.
No.
They might, in fact, be a contender for dumbest marsupial on the planet.
Right, what is this boss do?
This
Right,
is
have
not
Meteor?
Behemoth.
He
So it
will
doesn't have
target-
meteor.
You know, he does.
Yeah.
So, for the first 85% of his health, he will target random people with Charybdis and put a tornado on top of them. The tornado's AoE will persist, and it will keep pulsing out AoEs that are about twice the size of the tornado itself. So
Yep.
make sure you're spread out. He will occasionally go to one of the cardinal directions in the room and do a big cone AoE that'll cover all the way to the end of the side of the room, so you want to run up to him and get to his sides. And at 15%, I'm going to be saving all my juice, because we need to kill him in 9 seconds, otherwise Ecliptic Meteor kills us all.
Well, if you can do it by yourself, it's fine.
I mean, I could
Yeah.
probably survive 1, but that's because tank.
Yeah.
Alright, let's do this.
Uh,
I'll just take
yeah,
him over
let me
here
just-
so it's more obvious when he does his thing. Okay,
Yeah.
there we go. Yeah,
I'd-
why?
I generally recommend fighting him on the edges so that Charybdises get placed in easy to deal with spots.
Yeah. With 2 of
But,
you, thankfully, he should spread them out a bit better.
Also, while this is Palace of the Dead, you don't have to do positionals.
I know, it's just that I dropped a Charybdis right next to the position I was standing.
Next to his butt.
And I'm playing a melee character. You're supposed to stand behind the boss.
Yep.
World of Warcraft habits die hard.
Oh,
Okay.
going to the other side.
Hug his butt. Yeah.
What?
You didn't get hit by it.
Oh no, I saw it go up over. I saw the vulnerability go up over me, but it was actually from Fern's character.
Yeah.
Alright.
And he just dropped a Charybdis right there, because of course he did.
Yep, I'm going ham.
Yep. Activate ham mode. There he goes. And there he goes. So yeah, he's a fun, easy little boss. He's just, yeah, behemoth light mode.
Yeah, if you got somebody with enough Aether Pool to actually kill him before the Ecliptic Meteor goes off, he's free.
Yeah. Charybdis is annoying, but Charybdis is always annoying.
Yeah, so that's I guess the gacha update. I mean, given the way things are going, I don't know if maybe gacha's life expectancy is getting shorter with the amount of governments who are starting to pick up the regulation hammer.
There's, I was going to save this for the news actually, but there's been a big report into microtransactions that's currently doing its rounds to the parliaments in Europe, and it's been written by people who actually know what they're talking about.
Yeah, I mean,
And
like
it's damning.
I'm not that terribly libertarian, generally speaking. The thing that makes me reluctant to allow governments to stick their oar in is that they're deeply, deeply incompetent. Even if the people writing the report are competent, the people who are doing the legislation are 100% not.
Yeah, like every now and for the most part, the industry should be allowed to self-regulate, but when they fail at that, that's when you need the big stick of regulation.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like,
And
I don't think. Like, America will probably have to deal with it on a state-by-state basis, but America also has a curious legal situation involving gambling as it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can thank the Indians for that one.
Not to mention the
Like,
wonky legal definition.
I don't really understand how it all plays out, but it's different. Like, I know that gambling in New Zealand is a serious societal issue, like really bad. There are lots of children in this country going hungry because their parents can't stay out of the TAB.
Yeah, happens in Australia as well.
Yeah, and I gather UK has it something chronic, like it's even worse.
Yeah. To the point where actually loot boxes or games with excessively aggressive monetization are starting to get banned. Belgium and Netherlands, for example, banned Diablo Immortal. And I believe Germany did this morning.
Like, just because you're a Diablo game doesn't mean you actually have to be demonic.
Oh, they are demonic. It is.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, it's Blizzard.
Well, the thing is that Blizzard has never gone, like, a fraction of this far before.
Oh, yeah, this is beyond the pale.
Compared to the monetization tactics that are being dealt out in Diablo Immortal, they're basically saints. It makes Genshin Impact look like they're just throwing primogems at you. Like, there's the most generous thing ever.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's a really, really deeply
Why?
evil monetization scheme.
Because he's there and he had a stupid face.
But
Do you want to, well, we've already hit on this topic now. You just want to jump straight into this news article while we're at here?
if you like, we can do that.
Yeah. So in order, what it entails, or rather what Diablo Immortal's monetization entails is they have skins, as you expect. They also have loot boxes, which are playable. But more the point, they have socketed gems, and your gem sockets are tied completely to monetization.
And they also, from what I gather, they stand outside the regular power curve.
They do. Like, if you are playing completely free to play, you'll get gems come in your usual power levels, that are 1 to 5 stars. But if you're playing free to play, the odds of you ever getting a 5-star gem are very, very small.
Vanishingly small.
Vanishingly small.
You can safely assume you just won't get one.
Yeah.
Unless you're Aristeel.
Even Aristil, I don't think will get one at this. They're that small.
It might not be on the first pull. He might need to pull 10 times.
So yeah, and the 5-star gems are head and shoulders above the rest in power. Also, characters and gear are capped in PvP. The gems are not.
Yeah. Like I said, it's outside the regular power curve. You can get substantive advantage over other players by putting money into the system.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Fern Tender Tank stands back on.
Oh, right, we did a level transition, didn't we? I keep forgetting that.
Yeah, I forget it all the time too.
Yeah, tank stance is supposed to be set and forget in this game, but you can't forget in Palace of the Dead.
You can't forget anywhere. It does it all the time.
Yeah.
But it seems to they've gone out of their way to make sure that literally no amount of funny money that you can purchase can divide evenly into a purchase.
Yes, and that's actually one of the big things that that report has criticised is that there's multiple layers of currencies in order to actually buy something, so that you can no longer equate real world money to what you're paying.
Yeah, you'll lose all sense of value.
Yeah,
Like, it's not something as straightforward as like Saint Quartz, where you pay $1 billion and you get a pile of Saint Quartz.
yeah.
And then you use that Saint Quartz to summon. End of story.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Diablo Immortal calls it, but it's like you buy your basic game gems,
It's
but
like
in order to
eternal orbs or something weird like that.
yeah, but I think you buy gems first.
You like they've got so many different things hooked into the system that I can't really.
Yeah, it's just so completely obscure and unintelligible. It's just there's no telling what you're actually spending.
You know, it's very hard to envision a way in which you could have a government body regulate against this type of crap. But I think that you might be able to get a decent amount of headway if you could just at least pass a law that banned funny money as a mode of exchange.
Yeah.
You could come up with some way that it was like money laundering for deceptive purposes or something. Just invent some legal argy-bargy to justify it. And then ban outright the trading of funny money. Because I think that there are a lot of things that have become tied into that.
Yeah,
like because it's given as a bizarre combination of in-game reward and acquired by money, it allows people to muddle the value of that money.
Yeah, it's like you see an item with $1 value on it, and you think, oh, okay, that thing is worth like $2. That's $2 worth of value. But then you see the same value in gems, and it's like, oh, it's 200 gems.
Ball pop strength.
Strength.
And yeah, the mental breakdown goes there because strength does not equal money. So yeah, it's actually a very interesting report. If you can dig it up, by all means. Bellular Games did a very in-depth breakdown of it as well.
Yeah, it's quite a good digest because I expect the report is probably 1 million pages long.
Oh, it is. It's huge, and
So,
it goes into detail on just how sinister they are.
Unless you have literally got an afternoon to spend on the report, I would suggest just watch people's breakdowns on YouTube of it, because there are people who, they want to make content and this is content, so they'll do their darndest to break it down. But the question of what type of regulation is the government capable of doing without screwing it up is a very, very thorny one.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
I think it's an industry like this should be self-regulating, because the threat of governmental regulation or something like this should scare the ever-loving piss out of them.
But they've just been allowed to get away with it
Yeah,
indefinitely. Like there's no their whole we will officially state the rates on our gacha box, and then we will put a footnote saying that these rates might not be correct.
yeah. These rates are subject to change at any time, including halfway through the pool, which they do.
There's it's a real hard line to walk when it comes to legislating stuff like that, because it's another case of these companies just doing something that is obviously immoral and unethical, and needs somebody to step in and tell them no.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you don't want a government to do it if you can help it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, the thing is that much like if you look at Twitter and Facebook et al., the reason the government has an interest in stepping in is because they have this sort of, due to their metrics, they have the sort of power that a government has, making them in effect a rival government, right?
Along some axes, they have more power than the government.
Yeah. Games companies don't have less metric capacity. Like, they are pulling live information off you every time you participate in their systems.
Mm-hmm.
So they also represent a threat that could be turned to subversive ends against a government. So there is an interest, there is a self-interested interest for a government to regulate the crap out of these companies, especially the ones that are nakedly evil and generating a severe sort of societal problem. Like, it might not be as obvious in the United States because you don't have half the population wandering down to the TAB to spend their children's lunch money. But
for all our faults, we've done I don't know how we've accomplished it, but we seem to have found a very happy medium with gambling that
on accident, like everything else America does.
Yeah.
Like, this is a true, genuine mystery to me. I don't know how we wound up with this situation. It never got really ingrained in our culture, aside from a thing that some people just did.
Well, the core reason is probably because your country was founded by Puritans.
But yeah, we got we just never have had a gambling problem, and we've made it illegal in most states to set up gambling, outside of certain cities and zones, and the Indians are allowed to do whatever the heck they want. That's a lot of dragons.
There's a lot of dragons. I can't see what on earth I'm doing. I'll just collect all the dragons I can. And now they're Kappas. I can see.
They turn back when they die.
Yeah, that doesn't help much. That was fun.
But yeah, there's I don't particularly feel good about relying on the government for anything. Like, it seems like a recipe for disaster. But there is nobody with sort of like super corporate power to come in and tell them the score.
Yeah.
Like, you have to rely on the government because there's literally nobody else who can do it. The economic power of these companies is derived from abuse of psychological tics that people have.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at, I think it's a famous number or something like a quarter of EA revenue comes from gacha.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of dosh. Like, all of the other things that they do, all of their AAA products, all of their big releases, all of their events and promotional things, and all of their sponsorship deals and so on and so forth, and then there's gacha, and gacha's bigger.
Mm-hmm.
I can't help but wonder what a world without gacha would be like, because if you took away gacha, all you can restrength. If you took away gacha, you take away the main source of revenue from these companies that are using it to just keep the shareholders happy without having to actually try and make good video.
It's corroding the quality of video games because more and more money and manpower and talent is going to get put towards exploiting weird psychological tics. It's not going to go towards the video games. The video game is going to be extinct next to, a Skinner box that takes your money.
Yeah. Which are actually starting to pop up now. These metaverse games, I call them games very loosely because generally it's just...
I could hear the quotes around it.
Oh, they clank, those quotes. But essentially it's like, here is a grid of a map. Buy a tile and you will probably get a game later, maybe. And yeah, there's like dozens of those now. That's all fleecing money out of people for this non-existence metaverse project.
Yeah, so I suppose it's rich coming from me since I do indulge in the gacha, but
I think a little bit of gacha is fine. A little bit.
Yeah. Also, I feel like it is probably. I feel like the FGO gacha, while the rates are abusive.
Yes.
They actually play it pretty straight down the middle as far as what is actually going on there, and what the rates actually are is what they are, and that's why you see people like Ari who feast and people like me who famine that just occur naturally rather than the curve of fortune.
That's another thing actually that came out of that report is that may not be luck. In your case, I think the problem might actually be Kiyohime. Because what they do is they'll watch your gameplay habits, and because you're constantly putting Kiyohime up the front, the game thinks you like 3-star servants. Therefore,
I don't think that it works like that.
Yeah, this is a grossly simplified version of it. But it will tailor what comes out of a gacha to you.
Yeah, but it's tailoring it in such a way that it gets money out of you.
Yeah. So if they know you're going to get, if you
Like
get what you want-
if somebody is indulging in a psychologically damaging attachment to a servant that makes them no money because it comes out of the free gacha, they would want to tempt you with better units
yes,
that will cost you money. That's what they would do in practice. But the reality is that I just don't pull those units a lot of the time.
you just don't. I know you've got terrible luck in everything anyway. So
But I have had a few good streaks of luck in the gacha. Ones that really paid off in a disproportionate fashion compared to my baseline fortunes. But generally, the reason that I think that the gacha is fair in FGO is that FGO Korea ran an unfair gacha in FGO when Solomon chapter was released.
Wasn't it on Merlin? On top of everything
on
else?
Merlin, they reduced the rates on Merlin, and they were found out because amongst online communities, the FGO community is ancient and autistic, and they crunch every piece of data that comes out. There are people in Japan who just spend all their time crunching FGO data, and it emerged very quickly that the Korean gacha rates were crooked.
yeah, and that's the thing is people
it
will
wasn't by
find
a little
out.
bit either. It was like down to a third or half, wasn't it?
It was quite significantly reduced. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's no secret that these companies have their thumb on the scale when it comes to drop rates. That's basically the law at this point, really. But
Yeah.
there's a limit to what people are willing to put up with.
It's more, we always know they have the option to, but when they are proven to do so, that's when the ire comes out in full force.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are sort of caps on the effectiveness of that type of thing. Like when you have a really complex gacha, there are more things that you can put at play, more dynamic adjustments you can make to rates. But in something simple like FGO, you need a certain number of people to be pulling those servants so that you can borrow them from other people and feel like you want one of your own.
Yes.
If you don't seed the population with successful gacha pools, you don't get any additional gacha pools.
Fern, go get that chest.
Oh. Oh, right, you Manticored. Okay. We'll go to the thing. I'll get this one. So, yeah, I think it's going to be rather telling what happens over the next few weeks, particularly just how horribly aggressive Diablo Immortal is.
I don't think that we're going to see any major changes in weeks. I think it's going to take a couple of years to hash this stuff out, and depending on what interests are at play, it might take even longer. But yeah, it's
yeah, I'm expecting.
Yeah, Diablo Immortal, I think, is going to crash and burn in spectacular fashion.
I think there's that. There's also apparently Blizzard is going to be announcing what they're going to be doing with Warcraft 3 Reforged sometime in the next week or so.
They're going to do something with it.
Apparently, because there's also what are they called now? I think it was Morheim's team, the StarCraft guys. Anyway, have also announced that they're going to be revealing what they've been working on this week, and that will be coming actually in the Jeff Keighley show. Jeff Keighley's Narcissism Adventure. I don't know. I forget what it's called, but so those guys are going to be unveiling their project. So Blizzard needs to have something to counter them with.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
they've gone from "don't you guys have phones" to "don't you guys have wallets," and I think that they're going to need to try and squelch that.
Yeah. Vol, Blue Bomb, no touchy.
Is that
Red bomb, kill it. Blue bomb, don't use any AoE, don't touch it, and I'll deal with it.
Yeah. So let's smack this boss. He's just a nuisance, really.
With 2 DPS here, we may not even get to blue bomb phase. That
You
would
might
be
not
nice.
actually, because he's going down like a brick.
I don't even have vulnerability on him. Where's the red bomb? I can kill the red bomb by myself.
bomb's over
Just
there.
keep whacking.
Bombs go
You can keep
bang.
whacking yeah, bombs go bang, so
Whoa.
you can keep whacking the boss.
The floor is the same color.
All right. So yeah, we'll see what happens with Diablo Immortal, but I'm expecting players en masse to drop that like a hot potato.
I don't know. The thing is that they did it with Diablo because Diablo has a lot of oomph, and there's a sort of a lucky dip culture surrounding Diablo already because, well, it's an ARPG. Loot is random, yo.
Yeah, but on the other hand, that fan base has already been burned badly, and yeah, okay, they got a little bit of goodwill back with Diablo 2 Remastered, which I don't believe was actually Blizzard in-house either.
And that was just because it wasn't a dumpster fire, though. That wasn't because it was a absolutely amazing game.
No, it was acceptable.
It was compared to Warcraft 3 Reforged.
Exactly. That was not a high bar.
And the stuff I saw from it, and especially the artwork for it, looked awful. TBH.
Yes, second grade teacher, Amazon.
Manjor.
She looked exactly like my second grade teacher. It's uncanny.
Yep. We should take a break.
We should.
Yeah, I definitely need one.
So, here's some music, folks. We'll be right back. And we're back, and Fern is very sparkly.
Yeah. So this is the new emote from the Gold Sorcerer event that's currently going on. An event
And
which,
even-
and I'm rather salty about this, does not boost the Jumbo Cacpot results.
So yes, you get a left and a right version if
Yes.
you finish the quest.
Oh, I
So,
love
yes.
it.
Where were we? Diablo Immortal.
I think we're done with that, but yeah, it's a dumpster fire.
From all accounts, the game itself is quite playable, but
Yes.
it just happens to have been designed by people who are evil.
From what I understanding, yeah, it is actually a very competently put together game. It's just evil. So yeah, I guess we'll wait and see. We've got the corpse of E3 next week, which is going to be an announcement after an announcement after announcement, and that's literally what it is. It is the corpse of E3.
So yeah, where can we reorient the show to?
To
We
your
still
week, because
have-
we kind of jimmied in there.
Yeah, right. And I still have a week. Has anybody checked the email box?
No, because we're too busy smacking things. But I'll do that while you week.
Okay. So yeah, I will pull this up. We do have an email. I will, as usual, crop it out so I have an easy image for it, so I don't have to keep pulling up the browser. And there we go. And close that, and it's in show hosts.
There we go.
So, okay. So my week. My week is mostly real life stuff. Unfortunately,
Bleh.
a whole lot of this week was dealing with various projects I have going on at work that are just being a pain in the butt, and dealing with people that want impossible things.
So business as usual then.
Yeah, this is something I've noticed with engineers that are particularly stupid, which seems to be all of them. I don't have a strong opinion in engineers. It's they're sending me things like quotes for a specific model of pump. We want this quoted, but we want a 2-inch discharge and a 3-inch discharge. Honey, no pump company on the planet has multiple discharge sizes for a model number. That's most of the point of the model number, is to tell you the discharge size.
Why? So it's just hurting my head thinking about what that sort of pump would actually look like.
Well, it's like they want a 2556. Okay, 2556 is a 2-inch discharge pump. They'll send me a schedule where they want 2 pump systems. One of them is a duplex with 2556 2-inch discharge. The next one, duplex 2556 with a higher GPM, but they want a 3-inch discharge. Like, honey, that ain't how this works. There's no such thing as a 2556 3-inch discharge. And so I've been fighting with people a lot on stuff like that. The rest of it, I've had the ick all week. Not the sick. I haven't been vol sick. But I have had the ick. And the ick entails me just being lethargic and grimy all week.
Yeah. I kind of hate that worse than being just.
Turn your tank stance back on,
sick.
Fern.
Oh, damn it. Yeah. The lethargic ick, I think, is the absolute worst.
Yeah, so nothing debilitating that would stop me from going to the office. But, whew.
That hurt.
Why would you do this?
Whoops.
I'll get the Karen. The Karen's probably nearby. It's in here, yeah.
Oh, if not,
Just
I got a
gotta kill it.
Phoenix down.
No, just use the Karen. We'll save the
All
Phoenix
right.
downs.
You just have a nap then.
Why would you do this to me?
This game just said no.
Oh, nope. We need one more to activate the Karen.
Oh. Alright, Phoenix down it is then. Rummage through my crap bags. I gotta sort these again. I had them all nice and tidy, and then I started playing the game again.
It's alright. So yeah, the worst feeling in the world is moving half speed at work.
Yeah.
Like, because I am willing, my body is moving, it ain't stopped, but it just ain't going very fast.
You got strength?
I got strength.
Strength.
I'm strong.
That's the resolution. Okay. Yeah. It's not that sort where you're very just brain dead as well.
No, I had most of my mental faculties. I just was slowed down. It's like somebody used slow on me,
Ah.
and I just had a general icky feeling all week. So I'm on the tail end of that, which is why my voice ain't quite like it should be right now. So still getting over that, but it's livable with. It is not a debilitating anything.
Just
And,
generally unpleasant.
Yeah, just general unpleasantness. When I did get home, I would continue to nab Abo and do. I've got him in a cycle where we will do leveling, front lines, and usually one or two other roulettes every day. And leveling and front lines doesn't take very long at all. So, and that's where I get the bulk of my EXP. And have been able to push several classes over threshold markers with a bit of Palace and Heaven on High to fill in the gaps. So I got my Gunbreaker to 71, so she can do Bozja now. Or maybe she's not 71 yet, but she's over 70, so she's close if she's not there.
Nice.
Got Mechanist to 61 today, so I can take it into Heaven on High. You probably saw it hit 61 while we were running through the dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
And what? Got Bard 271, so I have a DPS I can take to Bozja that actually can get experience. Because I have most of my dudes stuck in the 50s and 60s. So I've been trying to get them over those humps. And trying to get them over in batches that will remove gear from my armory chest.
Got to get rid of that sub 50 gear.
Yeah, well, I've got rid of all the sub 50 gear. All my
Nice.
classes are at least 50. But, yeah, just slowly doing that and using Heaven on High and Palace of the Dead to push it through. Abo coming on and being like, hey, we should do something. Yeah, let me finish this floor set in Palace of the Dead. Again?
Yeah, nope, still. So,
And so,
oh, you're gonna keep going. Okay.
oh, what, the Cairn open?
Yeah, it's been open this whole time.
Oh, I've been talking. This is why me and multitasking don't go good together.
Yeah.
So yeah, you've probably seen how I've been playing Mechanist, which is just I let them do whatever they want, and then I go fill side objectives or the main objective while they go wander off.
Yeah.
Because this place is mostly on muscle memory all the way up to floor 120. Pretty much nothing can kill me here. Heaven on High is a bit harder. I've been having very bad potsherd luck there, so I haven't been able to get all the permanent collectibles you can get from the potsherds there. So I still only have 18 sustaining potions, which limits me to Gunbreaker and Dark Knight if I want to make any progress of significance in.
Yeah, hang on. Something bad happened.
Yes, I can see that. In fact, it's bad enough for me to do this.
Yeah, do that. Because yeah. Oh, yeah, that's why I can't use my tank abilities. Oh, this is bad.
Yeah, I'm fixing it. I'm fixing it. So yeah, you get moments like this.
Yeah, where
Which
things just go terrible.
Yeah, stuff going pear-shaped happens all the time. Learning how to deal with it just kind of comes with the territory.
That was unpleasant. I was wondering why I was mashing the key for my defense buffs and nothing was happening.
Yeah,
I missed the announcement.
Yep. So me, bubblegum, walking, chewing, doesn't work.
It don't work.
I missed it too. Thankfully, we're on the trash floors. So yeah. I'm trying to think of anything of substance that I can talk about, because I did stuff in Final Fantasy. It just was in small bursts after work.
Yeah. That tends to be how a lot of people do it, I think.
Okay, I can talk about this.
Let's just get off this floor.
Yeah, I don't like. No, I missed Horde. I saw it at the last second.
That's alright.
Anyway, I could talk about Eureka a bit, because I am continued to be dragged into Eureka, because this is my life. Okay, you know what?
That's right, we got another Horde on this level. Fair enough.
Just no. So we finished Pagos last week. I talked about that. There's nothing too significant about Pagos. There is a very obnoxious thing that is significant about Pyros, though. Pyros is the first one we've run into where we can't just follow the Fate Train and Moochie XP off of higher than our level NMs that pop up because of what we've dubbed the Crab Cave.
It's a cave full of crabs.
The Great Tunnel of Crabs.
Yes.
There is a very, very narrow tunnel of level 45 crabs. The max level on Pyros is 50. And these crabs don't have side aggro. Like, whenever there's a cluster in a tunnel, it's usually dangerous, but you can make do in Animos and in Pagos because they're all site aggro. These stupid crabs are proximity aggro. Not sound, not sight, proximity. And their proximity is huge with a capital Y.
Oh, it's huge.
Huge.
So what happens is you go in the crab tunnel, the entire horde aggro's onto you, and you die.
You get snipped to death.
And then you hope some poor astrologian is nearby to chain res you to the Aetherite on the other side, which only extends into even more crabs.
There's crabs for everyone.
Yeah, just crabs for days. So yeah, it's a mess. We've not made much progress in Pyros because we've got it is very much so a case of we need to do the weeklies challenge logs to get enough levels so that the crabs can be fought and we can punch our way through the crabs.
At least once you get to a high enough level, you can actually punch your way through the crabs.
Yeah, they will stop at 48. They will stop aggroing. You know, a billion years from now.
Yeah.
Because we're like 42.
And the grinds. Oh, the grind.
Yeah, the grind is real. It's just been kind of crap. I don't recommend it. 0 out of 10. Stay away.
Well, not crabs.
Do you have to really want that shiny armor, or have somebody else that really wants that shiny armor to drag you there to do freaking Eureka?
Yeah.
It is just pain the whole way through.
That's why
now,
I'm doing it the smart way. I'm not even touching Bozja, because Bozja is Eureka, but better in every way.
Yeah, there's Bozja. Bozja is Eureka, except you don't have to do any of the crappy community interaction.
Yay, I hate people.
Yeah, so you don't have to worry about Barack Obama.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm just going to get Eureka out of the way, get my really shiny armor first, then I will enjoy Bozja.
Yeah, I imagine if I wasn't bottlenecked by the stupid leveling system in Eureka that just chokes your progress so hard. And if you're, like, in Bozja, they just have ranks of enemies that are consistently tough.
Mm-hmm.
And your metal doesn't really do all that much, if anything, to help you punch through them.
Yeah, whereas Eureka level is be all and end all.
Yeah, 2 levels can make the difference. If something is 3 levels above you, there's a very good chance you're getting squished.
Yeah. And depending on the mob, sometimes it's only 1 level will make that difference.
Yeah, it's a mess.
Yeah. It's just not fun. But yeah, I think it makes people a lot salty because the only reason people want it is because one of the best looking armor sets in the game is at the end of it.
Yeah, even the Eureka weapons don't look that good. IMO, all the Bozja ones and all the animal ones look better.
Yeah, I've been using the Eureka gun because I like that one. That's probably my favorite. I mean, it's a full combat shotgun. I love it. But, yeah, I also upgraded it, or rather, I'm about to upgrade it when I go into Pagos, and yeah, not like in the second stage of it.
So yeah, I'll keep going. At this point, I'm too far in to quit.
Sunk cost.
So
Yep.
yeah, the
Sunk
cost is sunk. So I will continue to report my misery in Eureka.
I will join
And-
you in some of this misery at least. I've got to catch up though.
Yeah, you've gotta do the Pagos.
I've got to finish the last 2 levels of Animos first. Unless I can come into to Pagos and mooch.
Nah, you can only get substantial rewards from NMs that are 1 level above you.
Yeah, so you get kind of just trace amounts of XP for anything 2 levels higher.
Yeah, most things you will not be able to do enough damage to even pass bronze rank.
Oh yeah.
For the record, these guys are sound and side aggro, so but their sight is very narrow. So if
Because
you
they've got
just
these
stand
stonking
Wait,
great
watch
coffins
this.
on their feet.
I was gonna show it off, but it's just hilarious because you can sometimes get a gazillion of these dudes like this, and you can just sit there and let them walk right by you, and they won't care. I don't know if combat counts as sound. I haven't tested it.
You'd assume it would. Because combat tends to be...
No.
Oh no, run away!
So, gonna correct this problem immediately. That's what witchings are for.
Yeah.
Don't move your feet. Stay perfect. Okay, combat apparently counts.
Yeah. Because, yeah, combat is traditionally very noisy.
Yeah, I just wanted to test it there while I had the opportunity. But yeah, you can totally toggle walk around these guys and they don't care.
Yeah.
They do have a sight aggro, but it's relatively narrow compared to the rest of the stuff in here.
That goes through this floor pretty quick.
Yep.
Alright. If anything else for your week?
No.
In
That's
that case.
really it. I wish I had more. I wish I had anything. But it's just work, and when work is over, find something in Final Fantasy to do to kill time until bedtime. And I've been staying pretty dang late lately.
Yeah.
I did totally screw my sleep schedule though. So there was one night where I was up with both of you guys.
Yeah.
We did Omega. We did Ruby Weapon.
We did Ruby Weapon. We played them through the big fat tacos.
And Vol went forward and back.
Yes,
He-
they got
well,
smushed.
it wasn't me that went forward and back. It was Ruby Weapon that went forward and back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I did not know it could go forward and back either until I saw that marker.
yeah, I thought it only runs kind of it goes each direction once, but apparently it can do the same direction or the same axis rather multiple times.
It can just go, nope, changed my mind.
Yeah, I'm going back this way now. Oh look, a dude. I'm gonna smush him. So that was a fun fight. Aside from Vol getting smushed, no mechanic in there was super difficult. Everything was self-explanatory. I did have a brain fart during it though.
Yeah, you decided it would be a lovely idea to
He
Race
drops.
the falling sky.
He has
catch the proximity marker.
He has 2 meteor phases. The first one is the proximity marker, which goes boom. The second phase you're supposed to catch, and I derped and tried to catch the one that goes boom.
Yeah, and so Fern's standing right under that proximity marker, and I'm just like, Fern, what do you... And I just see his health bar disappear. And I'm like, I'll get the res button ready.
Yeah, we had a red mage, so that worked out all right.
Yeah. Vol, go on Red Mage for Diamond Weapon.
Do I have to?
Well,
I'm
presumably I don't polish my brain before we go into it next time.
Well, we have a mechanist that's new to the fight, you see. And last time, if you remember, both of our reses were chain casting the entire fight.
Well, I mean, we don't know that he was new to the fight.
It's true. He could have just been drain damaged, but
I can't see. There we go. So this seems to be a thing for you two, is any other machinist tends to die a lot.
well, it's mostly that one in Diamond Weapon that stands out, because he died so much.
How?
We must have rezzed him at least 20 times.
That's nuts. At that point, you just leave him dead.
You'd think that. But we were also caught up in the spectacle of a new fight we didn't know.
Yep.
So we were kind of, when it came to resin people, on autopilot.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, like, I will derp on mechanics occasionally. Everyone does, but that takes effort.
Hey, my weapon's changed.
Oh yeah, you went past level 50, so now you got glowy red fisty poos.
60. 60.
60, is it? Okay. So your fisty poos are glowing.
They're very edgy.
They are.
It's
I think that means you can,
reskin.
if you feel like restarting your Aether Pool armor, you can pump it out and get the glamour.
Oh, it's only 10 levels it dumps to get you the 3, or to get you the hilt.
I thought that was only the case for Heaven on High. I thought you had to dump 50 for Palace.
No. At least for the hilts, anyway, it's only 10.
Onward.
Checked it before coming in. Ah, he noticed me. Senpai noticed me. I'll bring him back. It's fine.
I'm living on the edge.
Yeah, you're doing things the hard way, or the dangerous way. Come on, Senpai. You noticed me.
Oh, you found a Gabu?
Yeah.
Why do you have a Gabu friend? So we're coming up on a boss in Palace of the Dead that actually takes some explaining.
Yeah.
Throughout the fight, he will have various telegraphs. Ooh, he dropped a treasure coffer. What's in there?
Ooh. Doopy-doopy-doo. Nah.
Resolution. That's actually helpful.
No, we've been maxed out on resolutions for a while.
Yeah, we're gonna lose them all in this fight anyway.
Yep. So this boss is actually unique.
Yeah, he has a unique mechanic in the ads he summons. But first is normal crap. Yuck zones, chain casts. Later in the fight, it starts applying doom if you get hit by any of it. Just all of it sight readable, nothing to worry about there. The problem is the ads. The ads will be those big fisty dudes that I used witching on because I was scared when we pulled 3 of them before. They will run up to us and start pounding, hopefully Fern, and he can pick them up quick. The only way to permanently get rid of these things is with a commander of Resolution. You have to kill them, and then their corpse has to be hit by the Commander of Resolution's ability. Now, thankfully, if I pop Strength, Commander of Resolution will one-shot them.
Huh.
So, you guys won't have to worry about that, other than Fern get aggro on them and Vol try not to get hit by him.
Oops. I'm knocking everything over, and I just knocked Sarsaparilla into my keyboard. So, explain the boss while I clean this up.
So yes, that's pretty much the boss. I'm Papa raising just in case. And Fern shouldn't need a steal for this guy, but if your health starts tickling, you can pop one later. And then I'm actually going to open with a Lust as well. On this guy, just
hating this beast's gauge.
Oh yeah, don't you just love Monk?
It's awful.
Oh,
Deeply awful.
It gets even better at 70.
I don't even know what I'm supposed to do.
Good. I don't either. When I was actively playing it, I had worked out a vague idea of what I was supposed to do. And then I just said screw it and played something else because Monk is not fun. Also, if you're wondering why Vol has so much less health than us, food buff. Food buff is a thing. It is very useful to have in Palace of the Dead. Gives you a ton of HP. And is mandatory for floor 120 plus. Vernu. So, as we wait on the Vernu, because I was going to do the boss, and then after the boss we do the email, but Fern apparently spilled Snapple all over his brand new keyboard.
It's sarsaparilla.
I'm not sure what sarsaparilla is.
I don't like it.
That's is it a liquid?
It's a drink.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure
That's
it's American.
It might be. I've never had it. What in the world is going on with Fern? Oh, I guess he's shaking out his keyboard and trying to get all the juice out.
Apparently it's not, and it's also in America they don't make it out of the regular stuff. But it's root beer except it tastes icky.
So, I guess Fern has got the vacuum cleaner and is sucking out his keyboard.
I don't think that you can clean up sarsaparilla with a vacuum cleaner.
Okay. So
Is it clean?
It's clean. Paper towels and get them in between the keys.
Yeah, hopefully keys
Isn't
don't
it
get
going to
stuck.
make your keyboard all sticky?
Nah, well, it is a bit actually, so I'm going to have to do a proper clean later. But that's just great.
Serves you right for drinking sarsaparilla. It's gross.
Incidentally, it might just be a configuration issue, but the one on my thumb pad doesn't seem to work. Wondering if that's rebound somewhere weird. Also, interesting text. I'm glad I said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked the J in part of it.
Yes.
I felt that.
Yes. This is why I should probably have turned the keyboard off before I started cleaning it. Anywho, shall we push this boss's mustache in?
Yep, you probably don't have to pop a steel, but if you feel you're taking too much damage, you can pop one if you want.
I'll do it just in case, because tank.
Yeah, I'm going to do my usual Pomander shenanigans. I've already put a raising up just in case. Go for
Alright.
it. Pull him quick.
Let's do this thing.
So, this is the one boss that will actually require focus, on my part anyway, because I've got a job to do for this boss that is...
Yeah. When he decides he's going to move over, there he goes. Didn't want to move.
He often does not.
Okay, he
Is
has
that the ads?
Triforce of
That's
Darkness, and that makes his ads show up.
Yep, and here they come. Can I time it right so that we don't get any attacks from them? Got the first one.
Ugh.
And now you have to destroy their corpses with the same ability, otherwise he will just res them. Did I get them
Yeah.
both?
It's them Dark Souls zombies all over again.
Yep.
Oh, I clowned this up. This beast gauge is too hard.
Did you get doomed? I know you didn't get doomed. You're okay.
No, I'm just trying to understand how the heck this beast gauge works.
Resolution number 2. Here they come. The corpse is
there we
gone.
go. The abyss.
Again.
He'll do it once more.
So, for this boss, if you're soloing him, you absolutely need three resolutions in stock before the fight.
Yeah, if you come in with a full 4-man team, you could probably actually get away without it. With only 2 of them.
Yeah, I probably could have done this with 2. Maybe even 1 at the rate we're killing him. Fern, please don't get doomed.
That's right. I didn't get doomed.
Are they dead? Are they gone?
Yeah, you got them all.
Okay, they're all gone.
And now we just smack him till he falls over.
Now just don't get hit by anything. That's the hard part. So I've done this enough times. That's just kind of how you do it. It's not a whole lot to it. It's just you gotta do it. Otherwise the boss will not die. Or rather, you can still kill him with those ads alive. Those ads just hit really, really hard.
Yeah. There he goes. Enjoy your potsherd.
Yep, and this will boot us out of the dungeon until both of you complete the story quest to continue onwards.
Yeah, which I need to go and find. Alright, so that's
yes.
the second part of Palace of the Dead.
Yes. We've covered a lot of Palace of the Dead on this show. And now you've seen what is technically the last story boss. The rest is all just hard mode.
Yeah, which is the same bosses again.
It's a
And
pretty
even the,
legit Lich model. I sort of expected something a bit more stylized from Final Fantasy.
Yeah, but no,
Yeah.
it's just
But
a
this
Lich.
is very sort of classical Western design Lich.
And he has to monologue and then fall on his face.
And then evaporate.
And then evaporate. But he seems perfectly fine to monologue.
Obdlord. He's probably just mad about his terrible name.
Yes, because he has a dumb name.
Indeed.
And now we have bags to open. So while we do that, let us look at an email, shall we?
Yes.
Oh, we only got 8? Okay.
Yeah, I kept forgetting to pop them.
Yeah. That's alright. Who wants it?
I've got it up, so I guess I can take it, even though Zarathos has banned me from doing so. I'm going to go around the ban. Just this once.
That sounds like a challenge.
It says, Dear No Excuses, so it has come to this. We guys have phones. Diablo Immortal is not bad. It looks exactly like every other mobile ARPG. The player area is zoomed in, you have 4 abilities, an auto attack, and you just kill stuff. Meanwhile, everyone is playing that other ARPG, the vampire one, that I tried and refunded because it was good. Because it was good, I still haven't finished so many games. I can't even keep track of. I can't keep track of that sentence, Zarathos.
Yeah, that was
I assume
one.
I assume you meant it wasn't good.
No.
It was good.
Could
but
be
he's
that
got
it's
too much
good,
on
but
the-
yeah, it could be that it's good, but he doesn't want to spend all his time playing that one game, especially since it's not finished.
Yeah.
Okay. So I just played Deep Rock Galactic
I mean,
and Azur Lane.
Space Dwarves.
Space Dwarves are fun. And then he has and Azur Lane. Finally, got the final star for Frederick de Grosse, so I can field 3 UR rank battleships to pound enemies to a pulp in PvP. Apparently, something changed because I could reach server 500th rank. Either a lot of high-end players dropped out, or having these ships made me really good. Which I doubt, because my front line is just a bunch of destroyers. Sure, those destroyers give each other a lot of bonuses, but it's still not the Shimakaze meta everyone uses.
Yeah, it's not strange to have a front line that's all destroyers, especially if they're very high evasion destroyers, because that's honestly the best way of tanking, especially if you're like me and plays pretty much exclusively Royal Navy. Like back when I was playing, there were less ultra rare priority ships and stuff, so the meta was a lot more balanced. But like I was able to make it really high in the rankings. Just couldn't hold a position because I didn't play enough. But you didn't need Frederick de Grosse to get that high before. You just needed a really good team and to exploit the holes in the meta for whatever range of rankings that you were in. It was quite doable, and I used a front line that was mostly destroyers as well. I think that I used exclusively destroyers a lot of the time, not always, but yeah, there's quite a few good combinations, especially I had some rather trolly compositions, which when luck went your way, you would just not take damage, and you would draw the fight out to a ridiculous amount of time. And if you had a fully kitted out Warspite like I did, if Warspite gets to fire 3 times, the fight is over.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know much about Azur Lane. I played very, very little of it. So let's see. He also has Rogue Legacy 2. They toned down the overt communism in the tech tree. The rest of the game is pretty much RL1, but vastly expanded in every way. Don't care. I saw that tech tree and I refunded the game.
I wonder what it means that they toned it down.
I think they were honestly they were going for a joke that just fell flat on its face.
Well, it wasn't a joke though. It was blatant promotion of communist, socialist, collectivist ideas.
Terms.
Yeah, like when you're taking pot shots at people that don't want government health care as your first talent tree, and it only gets worse from there. And then you have a talent literally that is universal basic income, and praising the virtues of universal basic income. No.
Going as far as saying it was praising it was maybe a little bit of a stretch, but the whole thing didn't. No, it wasn't. Flat.
No, I don't. Based on what I saw of those, it didn't seem tongue in cheek to me. It seemed like they were sneering at people who didn't agree with them. Yeah, that's the impression that I got. I had the same impression that Ari did.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
I think they were going for a joke, and they can't joke. They can't meme.
Yeah. I think the first thing I did when I unlocked the talent tree was I sent those screenshots to Ball and refunded the game.
Yeah. But that said, I have played a bit of Rogue Legacy 2. It's been a little while though, and the gameplay is still very fun. It's basically Rogue Legacy 1, just better.
I got equestrian roll.
Yep.
I mean,
So,
so yeah, definitely worth a look if you don't mind. Honestly, it's a slightly repetitive roguelike.
I've already got Palace of the Dead for that, though.
Yeah, and you're going to very quickly find that a few of the character classes will be completely useless to you. And which classes those are will differ person to person.
So yeah.
So
let's see.
It's still a fun game.
There's a bit more in the email that we can go through. I need to spin my serpent seals because I'm about to cap out on them. And let's see here. It says, also,
Apps, I'm at 1922 for poetics.
oh. So this continues. Also, I bought something called Forgive Me Father. The whole game seems like a student or jam project. The voice acting is really generic. The levels are
you are so bad at England.
Well, he said the levels are practically have the complexity, and I just needed to delete the R.
Yeah, just to be able to do this on the fly without anybody noticing.
The levels practically have the complexity of Call of Duty, just without all the set pieces and scripted stuff, and the graphics looked like Borderlands. I swear, Wolfenstein 3D had more complex combat mechanics, but overall. The levels themselves are, however, surprisingly varied, and there is a completely superfluous level up system along with special abilities. So, if you are really itching for Lovecraftian FPS and already played Dark Corners, and it's on sale, and you're really bored, you can try Forgive Me Father. It's not a very good game.
This is about the worst recommendation I've heard in some time.
That is. That said, actually, reminds me, Epic Games was giving out Borderlands 3 for free.
I won't play it.
A couple of weeks ago. I claimed
I
it.
won't play it.
I haven't played it.
I won't play it.
I probably won't play it.
I just won't.
Yeah.
I resent what Borderlands has become.
Yeah.
Just remember, tanks.
Oh, that's hardly the worst then.
No, but
It is a significant sin, though, because it was something that they did of their own accord that was not necessitated by anything other than their personal predilections.
Mm.
Yeah, it was.
If that were true down to the ground, it would have been like that way from the start. But they changed their mind later because of outside pressure.
Yeah. But even the internal stuff is just...
Well, I feel like, generally speaking, their quote humor unquote got increasingly cringe as time went on.
Mm-hmm.
And there is not a single straight person in that entire universe. No wonder the people are dying out on Pandora.
The other thing is, as far as writing goes, they've already peaked. Handsome Jack
They
happened
peaked in Borderlands. They peaked in Tales from the Borderlands, and that wasn't even their writing, was it?
Well, no, it wasn't. It was Telltale's writing.
Yeah,
And then you
because Telltale can actually write stories.
Yeah.
But Borderlands, after Borderlands 2, it was all downhill, basically,
Yeah.
for the mainline series.
With the bright spark of Tales from the Borderlands.
The Moon one, I didn't hear anything good about it. Like,
I played through it. I cannot honestly tell you a single thing about it.
The reception, like, it reminded me of the reception that the fourth chapter of Duke Nukem 3D got. And it's like, this is totally unnecessary. I guess I'll play it because I like Duke 3D, but it's just not great.
And that was basically it. It's just kind of,
Yeah,
Like, I know I played it. I can't remember anything.
I just remember one side quest that was literally go collect 60 of any of this rarity of gun and dump it in a crate.
Ugh. That suggests a critical failure of imagination.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was that side quest, and it was not tongue-in-cheek either.
No, that was just played straight. Just put guns in crate.
Yeah, you were like supplying the resistance or something. What?
Cringe. Like, those games just got so bad in the end. Every time they attempted to be serious, their inability to write good quality dramatic writing became obvious.
Yeah.
The Anthony Birch.
Well, yeah, he's
Most-
a crap writer. It's
crap
ultimately that's
writer.
the problem. He's a crap writer. Maybe he didn't always need to be a crap writer, but he developed himself into a crap writer, nevertheless, simply because writing well was not his concern.
I think you can follow Anthony Birch's writing for what it was, because he used to be able to tell good jokes. He'd not necessarily tell a good serious story, but he could at least tell good jokes. And then he doubled down on all the woke crap, and his agenda changed from tell good joke that make people go ha ha funny to look at how I can virtue signal today, and oh, look at this, give me claps, please.
Yeah, it was all about more representation.
Yeah, it's like, you're writing for claps, you're not writing for laughs.
Yeah.
And Borderlands is supposed to be funny.
And it's
Yeah,
just not.
the Birch siblings are a mess, and it is totally unsurprising that Anthony Birch's wife left him.
Yeah, those two are just a train wreck and a half. So yeah, not much else to say. The pre-E3 lull is real. Don't we know it?
Oh my yes.
There's one thing in his wheelhouse that I'm sort of tentatively excited for, although I know I shouldn't be because I've never been not betrayed before. But there's a 40k boomer shooter coming out.
Oh yes.
Yes, so Sarathus, you have a job.
Play said boomer shooter.
I deeply love everything about 40k except the game's almost always trash.
Yeah, 40 gay games are either great or trash, and there's very little in the way of in between.
Yeah,
Like, you've
there's,
got-
there's often ones that are good, but they're very, very niche. Like, I could not tell you whether Deathwing was good or not. The only thing I can tell you about Deathwing is that we collectively are awful at it.
Oh yeah, absolutely awful at it.
Oh, we also only played it for like 2 hours.
Yeah, but we also managed to cause Serathus physical pain watching us.
I mean, we hadn't done anything with the game before that. We went in blind.
Yeah, that was absolute blind. We didn't even know what genre it was.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. And I was
yeah,
playing
like-
with mouse and keyboard, which I've not played on in forever.
I mean, you've got games that have mass appeal, like Dawn of War 1, and then you've got incredibly niche games that are really only there for a small audience, like Dawn of War 2.
yeah, I liked Inquisitor. I think that there's a more robust implementation of that same concept that exists, although I'm not quite sure what it looks like.
Inquisitor is the game that has a dedicated heresy button. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, there's a lot that I liked about it, but it's one in the category of games that I only want to play with other people. I don't want to play it by myself. And another one in that category that I really want us to do a stream of sometime is Vermintide.
Yeah.
I've not even installed it. I own both Vermintide and Vermintide 2, I think.
I
but
think
I've never
got
played any of
Vermintide
them.
2. I can't remember where I got it from.
I like a lot of old school Warhammer Fantasy Battle back before they pussified everything and made everything. All the lore is now really loopy. I don't
Yeah.
really understand what's going on there. It's
I mean,
just,
it used to be loopy,
They
but
did
in a
a
good way.
well. They hit the reset button and it's no longer grimdark. Effectively,
Yeah.
like it's got this like everything orbits around this noble bright center of the galaxy. Effectively, and I don't like that.
That's not
That's
Warhammer.
why Warhammer Fantasy Battle relatively crashed and burned relative to Warhammer 40k, simply because Warhammer 40k maintained its oppressive tone, despite the fact that, you know, everybody felt like they needed to virtue signal about the Imperium of Man are fascists. Yes, they're fascists and proud of it.
Yeah. Oh,
Like-
what was it that I think it was Extra Credits tried to say that there was room for, you know, like using the Imperium of Man as the good guys of the Warhammer universe.
If you
There
ever
is no
want
good
a
guy in the Warhammer universe.
Well, the thing is that I am 110% a human supremacist. So as far as I'm concerned, the Imperium of Man are the good guys. It's just that they are constructed. The Imperium was constructed by an atheist who was a consequentialist. They have forfeited all of their moral high ground in the process of attempting to survive. They are still the good guys, but they are deeply, deeply fallen, flawed good guys. But they're only good guys because I am a racist.
There you go.
Wouldn't that be
And I think that
stupid?
humans are better than everybody else because reasons.
Good reasons. I love it.
But I played Eldar because I liked a lot of the sort of strategies
Because
that they had available to them.
clowns.
They had enormous laser guns, and they had like sort of terrifying lanky walkers, like things from War of the Worlds that would come crashing into your units and tear them to pieces, and they had super fast hover tanks and that. They had lots of cool stuff, but I still viewed them as evil aliens
Because
Because-
clowns.
they ultimately only had one concern, and that is themselves. They're entirely selfish. They don't have any real view outside preserving their decadent, rotting empire. And while the Imperium Man is also conserving a decadent, rotting empire, they're doing it because of, the survival of humanity, not because they are butthurt about having screwed up badly in the past.
Literally.
Yes.
So,
In grotesque fashion. But it's Warhammer Fantasy Battle used to be a slightly, very marginally more optimistic version of Warhammer 40k, but now it is an excessively more optimistic version of 40k.
yeah.
So
but-
it's not like I felt like the Warhammer Age of Reckoning game, despite all of its failings, it captured the atmosphere very well of Warhammer Fantasy Battle in the sort of like, if you played on the Empire's side, the Order side, the sort of griminess of a real place. Like if you explored the city of Altdorf, you could believe that as sort of like a mid sort of like 17th century sort of London or something, like or pre-industrial revolution London. Although they're sort of like starting to use bright magic to have industrial revolution, they've got steam engines are starting to develop, though they're not really all the way there yet, and everything is just sort of filthy, and there is very little quality of life for your average human, but there is a future to aspire to. So it was an optimistic setting, even if everything was grimy and filthy and filled with death. Which 40k is like everybody is scrabbling against the great darkness that's trying to suck them down. But I really like the fantasy battle setting back when it was that type of thing. Didn't like Bretonnians though. Bretonnians were too
weren't they the ones
French.
that kind of? Well, yeah, they're incredibly French. They had the stagnant aristocracy behind them, didn't they?
Yeah, they're sort of like the noble standard bearers of a bygone era where everything was about the valiant knight errant. Like they were sort of like the Eldar of the setting more than the High Elves were, because the High Elves had a sort of a relatively vital, if isolationist, empire that was constantly embroiled in its own bullcrap. But the Bretonnians were sort of like they were isolationists as well, but they ascribed to an ethic that basically couldn't exist in the modern world type of thing.
Yeah.
When I say modern, I mean like the Empire, which is sort of, the Empire was sort of Germanic in construction.
Yeah. Now you've got Warhammer. Was it Total Warhammer 3? You've got the Nordic, whatever they're called now. They basically run around screaming about bears all day.
Oh, I know the faction. They're based around a city literally called Kiev.
Yeah, that's them. And yeah, everything is bears. It's just
They
bears all
were-
day.
They were a pretty cool unit on the tabletop as well. Like they were basically knights wielding warhammers, and they were very much a blunt instrument.
Oh yeah, that seems like
You
how
didn't-
they actually play in Warhammer 3.
You didn't want to be charged by them though. You were going to have a bad time.
No.
Yep.
So anyway,
So yeah.
thanks
Before I
very much
forget-
for the email. Anything else in there we needed to pick apart?
Not really. I just I took my free shot at Rogue Legacy 2. I will always take that shot every time Zarathus mentions it. But yeah, thank you for the email, Zarathus.
Yeah. I'll have to pull
We're
it.
counting on you to get back with the Boomer Shooter report on the Warhammer one when it.
I'm
when it
sure.
comes out. Is that
I'm
out?
sure it's actually miles away from release, because every Warhammer game gets released, some 6 months after it would be relevant to come out.
Yeah, that's the way you usually go. I'll have to pull down Rogue Legacy 2 and see what they've changed now that they're at full release.
Yeah. In case you were wondering just how janky my bars are compared to normal play, you can take a look in the live show chat. That macro is turn off the transformation button.
Oh, right, I guess you can't just right-click the buff off, can you?
No.
Yeah, I don't have a mouse. Well, I do have a mouse, but it's really janky to use and it'll obstruct my screen.
Alright. Shall we jump into some news?
We should.
Who wants to laugh at Sonic?
Okay, I posted these together on purpose
Yeah.
because one of them is looking really good, and one of them is, and I quote myself, fucking awful. With
Yeah.
an F-U-G.
With the G's.
So I will move this and repost it in the live show chat. People are saying this looks good, but I will post the musical version because it's funnier.
It looks good in the terms of this is like pre-alpha stage 3.
This is not.
It's like looking good in the terms of you're walking into a house that's half built and they've got the drywall up. And
The
that's
Sonic
it.
fandom is like, it consists of two major branches. Branch number 1 exists on DeviantArt, and I suggest you don't look any further into it.
Yeah, do not go through that faction.
And branch number 2 are basically, they have a pipe directly out of the copium factory to their mask.
Yeah. And every now and again, there is a good Sonic game which reinforces those people.
Yeah, it's just enough to keep them strung along, and then they have to put up with another 6 terrible, terrible games that make them feel ashamed for playing them.
Yeah, like we had Sonic Generations, that was good, even though it did remind us that Sonic 06 existed. And then we had Sonic Mania, which was also good. Which was unashamedly good, actually. But
Well, I haven't played a Sonic game since Sonic CD. So.
that's 2 games since Sonic Adventure 2.
Yeah, like the Sonic Adventure 2 is where I stopped actively following Sonic.
Sonic.
And would just
in my
occasionally
mind,
pick up games for funsies.
in my mind, modern Sonic is associated with that kiss.
Yeah.
Good
Like
old
you-
Sonic 06.
It's
Oh,
like
Sonic
you,
06.
you jumped the shark and then some.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that.
But then
You-
that kind of validated the entire furry demographic, so... Yeah.
And I pretend they don't exist because they are all on DeviantArt too.
They are. So yeah,
Yeah.
let's just pretend that didn't happen. So Sonic
So,
06, it was a terrible idea from start to finish. So
Not
yeah,
even once.
we got the gameplay reveal of Sonic Frontiers, and oh boy,
We have a couple of very jerky rail grinds, dash sequences, and bounce pads on what looks like the jankiest Unreal Engine setup I've ever seen.
yeah, it's like this has been constructed to test the basic game mechanics.
This is something you do to test physics.
Yes,
This is a physics test box.
yes,
They're putting this out as a gameplay demo for a game that's supposedly 6 months from release.
this game is not 6 months from a release.
Like, this is when you're still playing with the physics you set up a sandbox like this.
Yeah, you're testing the mechanics. You want to get the game working before you make it look nice.
And it looks awful.
Yeah, like you've got Sonic, and then Sonic seems to exist in his entirely unique universe. And then every other asset in this game seems to have its own universe, and somehow they overlap. That's how jarring a graphic style we're looking at here. Nothing matches.
To quote the song, with no regard for art style or the aesthetic.
Yeah. And the pop-in. And
Yeah.
the draw distances, and
You
oh.
can see it in the very first ground pound of that music video. Just the second he hops off them rails and ground pounds onto the ground, just watch the ground.
This Makoto here with white lipstick, and I hate it. It was
The
really
pop
weird.
in- yes. Some Makote are hoes. But,
Oh wow, that's something else.
Yeah, that's a lot.
You know what it actually reminds me of?
Oh, yeah?
PSO2 New Genesis.
You know, I hate that you said that. And I hate
The
that I
same
agree
thing?
with it. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
At least New Genesis looked finished in some places.
well, at least New Genesis's trees match the characters, but
Yeah?
it still gives me the same kind of vibe. Even look at the little spire things they have everywhere. It's like the control towers you could do one challenge in and then forget about in New Genesis.
Yeah, and that's what it looks like exactly what they are. You climb to the top and that's it.
Like, what are they thinking?
Yeah. So why would you show this? This isn't the sort of thing you show to end users. This is the sort of thing to show to your boss to show how the game's coming along.
Like this is something you keep inside the dev team to go, okay, this is our tool we're going to use to make sure the physics are actually working with these specific objects. And clearly in this video, they are not.
They are not. I'm actually
Sonic
amazed
is-
we didn't see Sonic fall through the world, but that was probably edited out.
Yeah, like this looks. We're approaching Boom again.
Oh. Yeah, and
This is
Boom
gonna be
is supposed
another
to be a
O's-
finished product.
Yeah, this is going to be another 06 or Boom.
Yeah, unless they've got something unless they've got like a new dev build that isn't this. But then, if that's the case, why would they show this?
Yeah, it just looks really, really bad.
Yeah,
Well, more importantly, it doesn't look anything like a Sonic game.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
looks like a big grassy field that somebody has Gary's mod in loaded with Sonic there doing
It
pretty
looks like somebody
animations.
has modded their client of PSO2 because they wanted to play as Sonic.
Yeah, that's what this is all going to turn out to be. It's just going to be a Sonic skin for characters in PSO2 New Genesis.
I mean, it is Sega. I wouldn't put it past them.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
they-
wouldn't be surprised.
They just steal all the assets from PSO2 project.
I would not be surprised if these control spires are actually the same ones from PSO2, and I've just blotted out New Genesis entirely.
No, they've got slightly more pointy bits.
So yeah, this Fidget game, it looks awful, and everybody saying it looks good is huffing the copium.
Yeah, no, that it doesn't. Like, I'm not against the idea of like a Sonic open world game. Like, give it a big world that actually fits together for one to run around in. That could work. This ain't it.
Just, do we really need tall grass and cattails, and like weeds everywhere, and rocks,
We don't-
and realistic trees?
Yeah, like I think this is a good missed opportunity. Honestly, they could make just a big open world game that looks like a Sonic world. This is Sonic jumped into the real world, and really poor imitation of it at that.
Yeah,
It could be worse. They could have used like the first version of the movie version of Sonic.
Apparently, that model has been reused. By the way, it's in the Chip and Dale movie. I think I need to go and watch this to find out exactly what sort of abomination they've created.
I need to see if the 4chan leak was right, but I'm not going to watch it. I will find some report on the internet about it, because the report from 4chan was hilariously terrible.
Yeah, but that's 4chan.
But
That's
the thing
everything
about
that comes
that
out of 4chan.
If it comes from an anon on 4chan that is credible in the past, then there's a non-zero chance it's actually true.
Yeah. That tends to be where the leaks come from. Where am I supposed to be going? Oh, okay, over there.
So yeah, I mean that's how we figured out DMC5 was coming, was 4chan leak,
Yeah?
and Dan accidentally letting it slip at a con like 2 weeks later.
Well, yeah. So, by contrast, Sonic looks like hot garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
It-
it is
it-
no
it-
way is that 6 months away from release.
Speaking of Dan Southworth, then Devil May Cry,
Ah?
there's another game that doesn't look so bad. And that is the new trailer for Final Fantasy 16. Have y'all seen the new trailer yet?
I haven't watched it yet, no.
No, I haven't had
So-
time. I was going to last night and then I sort of died.
So I've been lukewarm on Final Fantasy 16, but there are two parts that came with this announcement that got me a little bit excited for it, and actually got me going, ooh. The first one was confirmation that they have just thrown out whoever was the head of their action department and cribbed one of the design leads from Devil May Cry 5.
I mean, if you're going to steal someone, you could do worse.
Yeah, that team's pretty good. And in the trailer, you don't see much gameplay in it. It's mostly a story trailer. But the bits you see our Protag-kun flipping between primals like they're styles or weapons, and pulling out new weapons mid-combo. with what appear to be has to be directional inputs for multiple variants of the attack button, and what looks like a semi-proper lock-on system.
I mean, they had that in 15, but it was jank as all get out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, that
it
was
was.
hold the button and the game plays itself.
But you could do it manually if you really wanted to.
If you hated yourself.
Yeah, yeah. What I'm hoping with having somebody from the DMC team on board with, they'll bring the perspective of actually, if you can make something blatantly overpowered in the lower difficulties or whatever, but on normal difficulty, if you just make the players have to learn the game a little bit, so they at least have to button mash intelligently, then it's way more fun. 'Cause
Well,
Devil
you
May
say
Cry's-
that, but I think that a lot of the player base of Final Fantasy broadly don't want anything like challenge.
Yeah, it's hard to tell now. I genuinely I don't know what the mainstream Final Fantasy audience would want nowadays because it's been so long since our days of proper mainline Final Fantasy, like 12 and older.
Well, the thing is that like Final Fantasy X was an absolute piece of piss. Like there was
Yeah.
no challenge anywhere.
It
in-
was
in
easy,
10.
yeah.
Well, I'm
And
not
that-
saying make it
that's,
difficult.
That sort of set the tone that you don't really need to have any capacity to understand the game. If you just did nothing but spam attack, you could get it through most bosses in that game.
Yeah, I'm not saying make anything, Son of Sparta difficulty here. Just make it a normal difficulty where you have to actually push the buttons.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like they hit that in and I'm gonna say it again because nobody ever gives any credit to this game because honestly it doesn't deserve it most of the time. But 13.2 I felt had the right difficulty level.
Yeah,
I mean there are ways that you could break it, but you did need to play intelligently to make things work because it had a very coherent. Oh well, you need to respond appropriately, even if it's only more or lessly in a rock paper scissors fashion. You needed to respond appropriately to the behavior of bosses and so on.
Yeah. Even base 13, I felt the combat system felt fine. You at least had to learn what it did and how the classes operated and how class switching worked.
Yeah, but while I'm a bit dubious about the idea that Final Fantasy could ever have proper engaging action combat, I do have a great deal of faith in Yoshi P to
Yes.
understand how to cater to multiple different types of audience.
Yeah, and that's the other thing that got me really hyped for this. Aside from the bit of combat they showed that looked really cool, and the Devil May Cry guy going on the team, the rest of the team, that's a good resume.
Yeah.
You got Yoshi P as producer. You got the Last Remnant guy as the director. I'm not sure what his stuff is really like. I haven't played Last Remnant.
Last
But,
Remnant is exceedingly complex.
Yeah. And you got Koji Fox on localization again. You got but the big one that everybody's hyped for is Soken's doing the music.
Assuming he doesn't get bludged to death by his own Tamatone before then, he should do a great job of it.
No, don't get cancer anytime, Soken. We need you.
Oh no, that's not going to be what's killing. He's got there's another tour of the Primals coming up, so that's probably when he's going to get murdered.
Yeah,
on stage.
I'm more concerned that he's going to work himself into a shallow grave, to be honest.
Well,
That's
yeah,
like Yoshi P.
yeah.
Like, there's a Yoshi P probably spends most of his salary on cigarettes at this point.
Yeah.
So yeah.
We have a very good lineup of people who've a long history in both action combat games and Final Fantasy games.
And I'll stress again how excited I am to have a new face come onto the Final Fantasy scene for the action combat, because they've been trying action combat and it just hasn't really clicked.
But they've been trying to rebuild it from the ground up. They haven't accepted fully that, oh well, there are actually ways you can do action combat that already exist, and you can just, adopt some of those principles. You don't need to design something completely novel.
Yeah, we can start with a baseline and build up to something unique from there.
Yeah. So start with Devil May Cry and put a Final Fantasy twist on it. There you go.
Yeah, just start with, and it looks like that's kind of what they're doing with mid combo switching between the primals and weapons. And
I don't really have a huge amount of trust that it's not just going to boil down to
I know it's a possibility.
press X to win.
I'm huffing the hopium, I know, but
Yeah.
let me huff my hopium.
Like I don't need Devil May Cry. I mean, it seems like it might be more reasonable to settle for something more Revengeance tier.
Yeah.
Well, Revengeance follows a similar model to that. It started with something in the vein of that action style and took out the weapon swapping, and moved the parry button onto the light attack. And so it iterated from there. And you can do the same for that and come up with something totally different, as long as you start with something that works instead of inventing the wheel with warp strikes and hold X to win combat.
Yeah. So sometimes it's just better to take something that works and just
Build off it.
make even just small changes in some cases. I mean, that's what World of Warcraft did for their entire run, till they started ruining things.
I suppose that there's a certain amount of room that they've got to add, a higher skill ceiling without needing to completely cripple people who aren't interested in dealing with the high skill ceiling. I mean, because it's pretty obvious that, generally speaking, Final Fantasy games have a tendency to put in a lot of systems that people don't use. I mean, there's not really any reason to bother with the gourmet meal when dry toast will do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently the lasagna was the most busted in Final Fantasy 15. I forget why.
But did you bother with anything other than dry toast?
I never. I was so done with Boy Band Road Trip featuring the Spice Girls 15 that I just stopped before I could care.
I was flipping through the Nintendo Switch shop the other day. There's this version of Boy Band Simulator on the Switch, but it's Boy Band Simulator Pocket.
Oh yeah, I've seen that where all the graphics are toned down to chibi art
Yeah.
style. It's like they remade the game, but it's in this dinky little chibi art style in this
Yes.
art in this
And it
cartoony
it
graphic
really
world.
looks bad. But
Yeah.
it's not so much Boy Band Simulator. It's 3 boy band and 1 gorilla as your party now.
Well, Gladio is Gladio.
Yeah, but seriously, did they have to have him sub for Harambe?
I mean, sometimes the ghost of Harambe is all you got to act for you. I mean, if it's the only actor you got.
Yeah, Harambe as Gladio. Oh no. So that's that, and I haven't watched the trailer yet. I'll watch it later, but I'm not gonna look too deep into Final Fantasy 16 because honestly, these days I don't want to get hype.
Yes, it's dangerous, and it seems to lead primarily to disappointment.
Exactly.
It is still early enough. They're saying it's going to be at least another year out. So they're ballparking summer of 2023. So
yeah,
we'll see.
We might get news of a new 14 expansion before then, or they might hold off on a new expansion and just keep plugging content into Endwalker in lieu of with 16 around the corner.
Well, we'll see what it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out between the two games. There'll almost certainly be a crossover event, but how much that'll impact their desire to spread their releases is yet to be seen.
What is good though is it sounds like that the two games are going to be similar in some ways, but completely different in terms of execution. Yeah. So you could easily play both side by side.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting with it. I'm waiting to see on it, but I have gone from yeah, that's a game that's coming out to ooh, that looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
And
please.
There is still time for every part of this video game to crash and burn.
Yeah, but with Yoshi P at the helm, I think we're fairly safe.
Yeah. It's just
well, the thing is, he's splitting his attention across 2 AAA games now.
Yeah, which is slightly concerning.
That's why I'm worried he's gonna work himself into a shallow grave.
So yeah, we have that for the news. That's pretty much all I had for it.
Yep, I don't think we've really got a whole lot else. Again, we got another trailer for the new Pokemon game, which honestly didn't show a whole lot. They haven't announced which gimmick they're going to shoehorn in there yet. But they're going to put one in there. You just know it.
It can't be as no. It
Don't
can
say
be as stupid
that.
as yeah. It could always be stupider.
It can
But I just
always
can't.
be stupider.
I am excited to see how they show me up by saying when I say there is nothing as stupid as enfattening.
Yeah, that was the worst mechanic so far. That said, though, going by the designs of the legendaries, I'm going to call it now. The legendaries are your bike. There you go. You get to ride a legendary and it turns into a bike. Done.
Just bring back megas and keep building on that system. You guys had a winning formula. Just do that again.
Yeah, megas were good. Stay with megas. Although at least Generation 10 will get the re-release of Gen 6, I think, which introduced megas. So we might get a
Is it
reprise of
already time to get X and Y re-releases?
Not yet. That's the next
Good.
generation after this one.
I thought X and Y is when we got the megas. Maybe it was one before that.
Boo. No, it was X and Y,
Yeah, so
I think.
okay.
Crap.
Not that old yet, but I am feeling pretty old.
We are going to get the remakes of Black and White this time around, though.
Yeah, I'm not as super hyped about Black and White as the big time Pikaman fans seem to be. I thought
Black
they were
and White had the most solid story, but again, that's not hard.
Yeah, you're comparing practically nothing to something with a little bit of meat to it.
Yeah,
But a piece of bologna is more meat than a Pokemon story has.
meat.
We're not talking about a full 12-course steak dinner.
I'm questioning the meat content of your average piece of bologna, but anyway. So
I mean, I think that only makes my point better.
I think it raises more questions about bologna than anything else. So yeah, we shall see. Next week we will have all the corpse of E3 stuff to pick through. I will have to take notes and try not to be overly sarcastic in this time.
Is there a thing under the name E3 happening?
No, E3 itself has been cancelled, but there are a number of events clinging to its carcass, and I will tell you what they are in just a moment. All right. So on the 2nd, on the Thursday, which is, well, we've already had that, was the PlayStation 1. Apparently they were going to have a state of play, and honestly, I've seen absolutely nothing about it. So I guess they didn't make that much of an impact. Let me see. Company no one cares about. Woke Nonsense, VR Showcase. Summer Game Fest is the first big one, which is on the coming Thursday, on the 9th. That's when I think a bulk of the announcements are going to be made, because that's Jeff Keighley's corpse sitting. There's Day of the Devs, which I'm not sure what that one is exactly, but it comes straight after the Games Fest. The following day, you have the IGN Expo, which, frankly, nobody cares. As well as Netflix's...
Hold on.
They're calling
Hold
it
the
their
phone.
Geeked Week.
There is a male Mikode named Grill Scout, and this guy is my new hero.
I see.
I don't know why I find this so amazing, but it is.
There's... I'm hoping he's looking for the best barbecue pit in Eorzea.
I have a funny feeling that's not what he means.
I have a funny feeling that's the case as well. So, alright, so yeah, there's that. Netflix is doing a day of games
Long
nerdery, which means that it's going to be cringy and embarrassing to everyone involved.
full of nonsense.
Nancy.
You have the Future Games show on the Saturday, and the Sunday you have Xbox and Bethesda, as well as the PC Gaming show by PC Gamer, for PC Gamers, by PC Gaming.
I'm really interested to know, like, who is it that funds IGN and PC Gamer in that? Like, how do they make enough money to continue operating?
I honestly don't know.
I know that PC Gamer... Well, IGN probably circles its money back by forcing Google to put its search results at the top. PC Gamer used to have a deal with GameStop, where you would get subbed to their crap if you got a membership card and you had to go out of your way to cancel it.
Yeah. I think after that they became self-sufficient on advertising because they used to have the PC Gamer magazines as well.
But you still need people to visit your website to subsist on advertising.
Yes, but it was magazine sales before that.
You want to buy magazines?
Now I don't know. Venture capital, I guess. In which case, it's an endless well of corrupt money.
Yeah, IGN being at the top of Google search results and paying for that is probably carrying them by itself. Because I've accidentally clicked on IGN links when I don't use DuckDuckGo or something. Well, I don't use DuckDuckGo anymore. I use Brave.
Yeah, I could never get Brave to behave itself, so I've gone back to Mozilla. They've got their own built-in one now, which is Although apparently Opera has a browser as well, which is probably worth a look.
Yeah, don't use Opera as a browser.
No, that won't work very well, and I'm sure she won't appreciate it.
Yeah, the memory requirements just keep expanding and contracting.
Oh no.
Currently, they're quite bloated.
No.
Have you seen her lately? She's fat. Super fat.
Like this is a joke that has been made about Oprah for as long as I can remember. Like I remember being a small child, just starting school, and people were telling that joke.
Yeah. So yeah, there is stuff happening over E3 week. Whether or not anything interesting is going to come out of it will remain to be seen. But honestly, like, this is looking like the mainstream gaming media's last gasp.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping it'll take IGN with it because, honestly, it just annoys me seeing their search results pop up because invariably there is nothing of any use that they have to say.
Yeah.
Like, I remember them being a useful mainstream site back in, like, the 90s.
Yeah?
Yeah, I remember when GameSpot was a good website.
They used to do fairly good demo CDs too back in the day. But
and then they lost all their talent. They fired Jeff Gerstmann and Greg Kasabin went off to make Supergiant.
Yeah. Who was it that fired Keeley? Was that PC Gamer? Or no, that wasn't PC Gamer. That was... I'm blanking. Was he IGN?
I don't know.
Let me have a look. I will ask ye internet.
He just seems like a guy
He's always
in love with the smell of his own farts.
Well,
or the smell of Doritos.
The Dorito Pope.
He does love his Doritos.
He was a freelancer.
GTTV.
And G4 as well.
Yeah.
Oh man, they tried to bring that back. That went
that went well. That was
I mean,
amusing.
They opened with their lead host calling everyone every name under the sun as their opening act.
When they had... I have been turned off on the completionist for a while now.
Yes.
Gerard Quilil has been a colossal tool in his relationships with people. And he was the first guest they had, in addition to everything, who was in the middle of that crap show. I'm just like, oh man.
Well, I mean, who else are they going to get other than bottom feeders? Like, most people who are actually popular know that it would ruin their reputation to appear on G4. It's only bottom feeders that will be on it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, who is Frosk anyway?
Bottom feeder.
Yeah. Like,
you
you got exactly out of her what you should expect to get out of her.
Yeah. Honestly, they went in it with the worst of intentions and they got exactly the outcome they were always going to.
I always wonder if, these media companies set up these shows, hire these women to come on and host them, and they just go full SJW tard and turn into total super thoughts on stage, and the producer in the back is just like, dang it, I was hoping this wouldn't happen. I just couldn't see it coming, though. And
I'm pretty sure that he was
actually
clapping along with the rest of the SEALs.
So anyway, we should
probably wrap up.
We should wrap up because next week's show is probably going to be a bit of a drag out.
Yep. So, all right, closing comments go.
I'm just about on the verge of completely losing all hope in the games industry.
I want my
Still has some
metabolism
left.
back.
I have a very small little bit of hopium left in the bottom of the bottle.
They'll give you a loot box in exchange for that.
Ugh. No, they won't. They'll take my money in exchange for that. They'll give me actually, they probably would give me a loot box, which would give me a ball of dryer lint and a broken check. So, yeah.
All right. I will leave the show with a quote in honor of Killdozer Day. I was always willing to be reasonable until I had to be unreasonable. Sometimes reasonable men must do unreasonable things. Marvin Haymeyer.
Ah, yes.
There
Long live
we
the
go.
Killdozer.
We gonna get censored for that one, man.
Yeah.
Long live the Killdozer. All right, folks. We'll see you next week. Sayonara. Bye-bye.
This'll never feel like home again. This'll never feel like home again. This'll never feel like home again.
There's nothing in slow motion anymore. Have we just been